Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Olivia line drive serve, high pass over that. Angie Jackson, kaboom! She's putting pins in the CHI House Center deck. It's 8-7 Nebraska's first lead. Serve by Angie Jackson. That's an ace! They're going after Libero. Sage Dameron was usually money. Really struggled passing in that first set. All Huskers, 25-17. Served by Landfair to the middle back. Good pass, Freisinger outside. Ava Martin. Dog Olivia. Now for the set. Back set. Virginia Adriano. Kaboom! She's hotter than Alabama asphalt. She had 7 kills in the third set alone. 25-18 Nebraska.
I'm excited about it. I dabbled in it last year for 3 games. It was awesome. So looking forward to 9 of them. So no disrespect to Michigan at all. I'm just excited about Big Ten play. And so with that becomes a lot of challenges. There's a lot of really good defense that's played in this league, and Michigan certainly set the standard for that for a long time. So never competed against them. That excites me. They got a great coaching staff. They got great players, great tradition. It's something that we understand as well. So just really excited for the opportunity.
Welcome in, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What is up, DB?
How we doing?
I heard it's hotter than Alabama asphalt out there.
Yeah, Alabama asphalt. I imagine Alabama asphalt is pretty hot.
It probably heats up a little bit.
Well, it is black. It absorbs heat.
Is it? Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Albedo, man. I talk about it all the time. Rate of reflectivity. The lighter you are, the more you reflect.
Oh,
the darker it is, the more you absorb.
That's why you're supposed to wear light clothes when it's hot outside.
That's why your boy isn't all black.
You're trying to you bought all that smoke. You're trying to get all the heat.
All the heat. All the heat. That's why I brought DBK. She took the heat.
She did.
And I brought my man Phil Simpson back because we have yet to get to him.
I like Phil Simpson.
I like him a lot too.
I like his group too.
Do you?
Some of it.
That's kind of cool. Why? Because I think they're a little maligned right now.
I think McCullough's been really, really good.
Oh, you just riding with the one?
I'll take it.
Well, that's a good start.
You like McGahee?
I'd like McGahee to be a little more disciplined.
Yeah. What about Ochoa?
I am disappointed.
Well, we saw a few flashes of Noonan. We've seen.
I think Noonan is probably a year away still if he can stay healthy to be kind of what we hope he can be. I think there's still something there. I'm not going to give up on him, but I think he's probably behind right now.
Yeah, big recruiting weekend too, which is another reason why I like Phil Simpson.
We also, I want to talk about this with. I don't know if BC will get into it too much, but we'll definitely talk.
You just have to ask him. What do you want him to get into?
About some of the UCLA recruits that might be back on Nebraska's radar.
Oh, what's funny is I went back over to talk to BC because I do it every home game. And guess what? He was still by himself.
That's a great question, Damon.
He said the other guys were down working. I think they must have their routine.
I also think he doesn't mind. He seems like a guy who doesn't mind sitting by himself.
I know, I feel bad. I almost didn't go over there.
Yeah.
And he's the only one in the row.
Yeah.
Like not even. I think Caleb sits to his left, Henry.
Yeah.
And even Caleb wasn't there.
How does BC get there super early?
Oh, I lose track of time because I work backwards. I don't start from the actual game time. I just know 2.5 hour pregame show, 4 hours before the game starts, half an hour before a game. We start countdown to kickoff.
So you get like an hour break in there?
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes. And but usually B-Mac and I are doing something. And I have to go back down on the field and I do a deal with Jess. So it's not
really a break.
It's not clean.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Although I did parse through the championship email for this weekend and I will be not a part of that. Although I am trying to work it out with Jess and Casey. We'll see.
I mean, the timing of that is rough for you.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah.
Last year I saw no parts of those guys.
Yeah, which is
that's cool. Like I'll say hi or whatever. I just want the Adidas zip up because I collect them.
Yeah, the gear last year was pretty cool.
It's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't too bad. I try to stay away from
white.
But
no, I thought it was
contrary to popular belief.
I gravitate towards it.
Funny guy. Those are my binoculars when I need them. I can't believe. So, I completely forgot about that.
About which part?
The camera.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But it's fine. So everybody was doing caption these.
Oh, yeah, they were screenshotting you.
Yeah, and then idiot dude said he wasn't going to take the picture. So Virgil must have taken that picture from his hip.
Oh, on Twitter yesterday?
Yeah.
Where you're handing him money?
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, my favorite money?
He goes, no, give it to me correct. What did he say? He said, give it to me the right. I threw it on the counter.
Oh.
Which is fine. Like,
yeah.
I shouldn't have, right?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Especially with Vers. That seems like something he would not like.
But when he said, give it to me correctly, I didn't realize that he was doing the whole, and I rolled my eyes like, you serious right now? Like, I got to hand it to you? And he took the picture. Like, the dude he's a piece of work, man. That dude is an absolute piece of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine, though. He goes, hey, type in your email. I just got forwarded the plans for this weekend. I'm like, you type in my email.
He doesn't know which one to use.
Man. So he throws me his phone. He's like, just type it in.
Mm-hmm.
He's mad about something. I don't know. Man, dude he had 1620 and Cox.net. We're talking some years. Cox.net is like 09. Dude, he had an OPS email.
That's got to be at least what?
I see you're 0 for 3, bud.
2012 OPS?
Yes. 13. Yeah. I mean, what are we doing?
That's a fair question.
You know why I know that? It's because I remember when they switched from Peter to you.
Yeah. Wasn't that something?
Yeah, it really was.
That's how you know guys got a funny sense of humor. I'm like, there ain't no way I'm taking this job. And 12 years later, I'm still doing it.
Here you go.
I blame Shane for hitting me up in 05 on that silly afternoon show. Hey, let's call this guy. Let's start this thing called a breakdown. I called with a hot take that was so bad, it should have got me booted from radio for life. I had some hot takes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I mean, fresh off the press, arguing with people I don't even know.
No, you're exactly right.
Glad to see that hasn't changed.
And now Kugler's like my road dog. He knew what he was doing. He's like, hey, that's a pretty hot, scorching take. Why don't you say that one more time for everybody else out here to hear?
Just let me mic you up real quick.
Yeah. He's like, oh, that lit up the airwaves. You want to call us back next week? I don't know. Depends on what you guys say.
You don't get fired for having bad takes. You get fired for having no takes.
Man, and then I had the infamous meltdown about a year and a half later.
Yeah.
They kept playing this stupid rock chalk Jayhawk after Kansas annihilated Nebraska. And every 5 seconds on the show, they would go, rock chalk. So I called them like, would you guys stop? Like, knock it off.
Yeah.
Nah.
They did not stop?
No, that didn't go over well. Turned out to be a bit in a skit, and they were off and running the best afternoon show in America.
A bit of a skit.
Man. Just contributing to folks' delinquency.
Amazing Daniel would like you to forward that email to his AOL account. Should get it's probably
I'm like everybody has like the old school. I need to sign up for something, but I'll never check this email account.
Yeah, so I think I still have, and it's because of fantasy football. I think I still have a Yahoo account.
My mom is a Cox.net.
Yeah. I think there's more of the Cox.nets out there than we think because of the internet service. You just get one.
Yeah.
So I think some people ride with that. So I don't think that one's crazy. The OPS one is wild.
It's been a minute.
Like that's been a hot minute.
It's been a while.
I think I've got my Yahoo one from high school is still the one I use for fantasy football.
Yeah.
On Yahoo Sports. I don't use it for anything else, and I haven't checked that inbox in it's got to be at least a decade.
I have
probably more.
I have a random one. I don't know if this was back for the PlayStation View.
Oh, like the TV thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used it. That's back when I didn't trust making this jump to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh kept telling me, dude, stop wasting money on satellite.
Just do it.
And I didn't really know him like that, so I didn't know if he had like my best interest. And he was kind of snarky. Well, he's the same. He's the same today as he was then, but he wore me down.
Yeah.
Right, like he totally wore me. He would be super snarky on Twitter, and I was like, I hate that.
So
me too. That's what I would say.
He was right about the streaming thing, and that's been the good piece of cheese ever since.
No, so small world, our kids play flag football against each other.
Oh.
And he's like, hey, I'm such and such. And this is way back when Micah was.
And you're like, hey, I kind of hate you.
I had mixed emotions because he didn't look like, this is dumb. He didn't look like he typed or text or tweeted.
Yeah.
So I was so taken aback. I was like, at some point, I'm going to stop judging a book by what I read.
Oh, you mean you're going to stop judging a book by the things they tell you?
Oh, here we go. You would like Lance. Knock it off. You'd like Johnny the Pig. Knock it off.
I've met Johnny the Pig. I do like him in person. That's why his internet personality pisses me off so much. Yeah. I'm like, that's not who you are. So either that or you were faking when we hung out.
You want to know how I rock with Balk Dog?
Yeah.
Oh, for like a month preceding the fight, he kept sending me these clips about what was being said about Bud and who Canelo was sparring with and all these hot takes. And I'm like, look, Bud's winning. This is not me being fanboy. Like, he's winning. I don't know what to tell you.
So you know what's super funny about that is since the fight.
He does send me some funny clips though. They're naughty. Like, I need to get in his algorithm because they're super. So what he sends me from a sarcastic, smart butt standpoint totally fits his personality. He doesn't talk like that when we talk because he's really smart.
So my algorithm has been spitting up a bunch of old Crawford fights now since the fight, and it's super funny to listen to the commentators because without fail, in like 80% of the fights, it's always, especially any time after he moved up to 140 or beyond, every single one, it's like, oh man, Crawford's going up against a much bigger guy.
I know,
every single, I mean, this is 28 pounds ago, and like a decade ago,
and he just stays mad.
And every single, they're like, oh, Jeff Horn, he's too big for him.
Yeah,
and he bullied that dude, pillar to post.
Sean Porter, the aggressiveness, he's too big for him. Yeah. Every single time, and I'm watching all these, and I was like, you would think they would learn.
That's why it bugged him. We need to tell the boss. She's probably listening. I can't retweet our morning lineup. I hate that picture.
Okay.
This is the what, and I get it. I know what she's gonna say. I'm gonna say this out loud.
You gotta take new pictures.
Okay, man. Why are you stealing my lightning and my thunder? My Tiki Barber and who's the fat back?
Brandon Jacobs.
Yeah.
You called him the fat back.
He really wasn't. He was young.
He was big.
Yeah, he was cock diesel.
Southern Illinois, baby.
Why are you stealing my thunder? Well, we need new headshots. No.
Like, now you're cool.
Hey, you see the radio network let it ride?
I mean, that's how you fix not liking the photos that you
they gave up.
Well, I don't think
they asked me for a month to retake the pictures at the stadium.
Yeah, you're like, no. Not about that life.
You can ask Kyle when we talk to him. Oh, your boy was 0 for 30. Not one good picture. 0 for 30. We tried everything, too. They gave me a ball, a stance, high back stance, yuck it up with the three of us.
Nothing.
Big fat goose egg. Cassidy took a picture with me and Caleb because Zoe brought him this rubber duck. And she was out at the Unity Walk. And somehow the band was like, I don't know what it is. I mean, Zoe lives a tough life.
Band was out on the field?
No, in front of the complex. So she
okay.
couldn't give Caleb the duck. So she came in the studio. She had this duck in her pocket. And she said, I wanted to tell Lobby good duck. I was like, oh, man, it breaks my heart. I don't really want you at my work, but it's cool. But Jess and them, they roll out the red carpet. They're playing games on the floor. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
There, right? So I said, hey, give it to Dad. I said, I'll see him on the field. So she wasn't really happy with that either. She wanted to do it herself. But again, just the whole boundaries. I mean, she's barely been in a commercial airport. I mean, she's just living the good life, right? So I give Caleb the picture, or the duck out on the field. I want to take a picture and send it to Zoe and Cassidy, who is like the epitome of energy. She is like the nicest, most energetic, excitable person ever. She does socials. Sometimes it's like 4-hour show. It's super early. Like sometimes I gotta ease in.
Yeah.
Cass ain't easing into it. So she's like, come on, do this, do that. And I was like, I can't tell her no because she's super cool.
You're like, I need you to chill.
I want to, but she takes care of me.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, I'm not going to look a
gift horse in the mouth.
Correct.
Boom.
So she's like, hop in the picture. I was like, I don't want to take a picture. She's like, hop in the picture. I don't want to take a picture. So she's like, Demon. So I took the picture, and it is the dumbest pose of all time. I'm like cuddled in next to Caleb, and she goes, oh, my God, you hate taking pictures, don't you? It's like, yeah, next time.
Lee says, did they try and give you a squeaky toy? That works with my son.
You got to be careful with Lee, too. Lee is a super cynic. I've known this dude forever. He's a trip.
Yeah.
Don't encourage him.
That's kind of funny. And it's really funny because with the duck, they kind of did give you a squeaky toy.
Listen, he's like, he's the perfect example of lighter fluid.
Just pour it on?
No, super good when you use just the right amount. Too much, and it'll tear your food up.
You're burning the house down?
Yeah, man. Like, he's called Lee. Lee should be, he's like Kingsford. Just a little bit will do you.
Big charcoal guy.
Yeah, I don't really mess with lighter fluid too much anymore. I have some other alternatives.
I can mess with the taste your food, too.
And I certainly don't buy the match light anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be super lazy.
Yeah.
And then as I kind of started to get into this thing, I was like, God, everything tastes like the match light.
Yeah. It's not any good, man.
No, I brought some meat to the fellas yesterday. And this is how you know. This is why I don't always recommend barbecue, right? I try to give a couple of options for what people like. And this ding dong Jernigan, I gave him some of the meat, and he goes, "Man, this is good." Because the heavy smoke taste didn't jump out at me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "You don't like smoke?" So then we exchanged a couple of barbs, because everybody likes. You're the same way.
I'm with him. Yeah,
you're the same way.
Not a huge smoke guy,
so I make fun of his smoking apparatuses because he has a couple.
Yeah,
but he did give me his chimney. He has a sweet charcoal. Where you put the charcoal
yeah.
But he doesn't rock with the charcoal. So I'm like, I had to practice using it because it has like a trapdoor thing. I'm like, this will end up on my porch and burn the whole place down if I'm not careful.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. I was wondering how much the place might have burned down if Creighton would have pulled that thing off last night.
Man, how exciting was that though?
It was great.
It's exciting.
It's exciting.
Hey, so I have a couple. I'm like, I have an affinity for a couple of Jays players, but you know who I don't know if I call her my favorite. It would drive Caleb crazy, but I'm a huge Alec fan too.
Big Rebecca Alec fan. Yeah.
So I go back and forth. I pick my little favorites on the teams that I cheer for.
You like Jay Johnson on Creighton?
Yeah. So I'm trying to get over that. I'm a big Jay guy, and I like Ava Martin.
Yeah.
But Ava was putting in work, and I'm like, you're really going to force me to not – I'm feeling some type of way right now.
She was getting after it.
And it was just kind of going her way. Even on the miss hits, it was like she was finding
she was finding
dirt.
I
was like,
real estate.
This is going to be very, very interesting. But I did figure out one thing I really, really liked.
What's that?
I cannot this is – Do I?
Yes. Let her rip, DB.
I am fascinated by DBK. I'm like
her demeanor?
There's zero way. So I did this whole reenactment in my head of if we were in the interviewing room and I had to profile her. I'm like, she would totally get me.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I can't read any of her mannerisms.
I can't peg what she's got going on.
Nope, I can't. And all she knows how to do is push the right button. I'm telling. When I say captivated by someone, I'm captivated by her.
It is kind of remarkable.
I love it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just been my thing. I've watched it since she first took the podium, and they cheered her at the joint when she was only here for like 2 days, and I'm watching her take it in, and I'm like, oh man, this ain't her vibe.
Yeah. She did look super uncomfortable.
I'm like, this is gonna be fascinating.
Yeah.
And then I talked to Coach Cook off to the side, just he and I, and we just chopped it up. And he's super smart, and he's like Reed off Criminal Minds, super smart. And I'm like, this is gonna be fascinating to watch. and I watch her mannerisms, and every day she gives me something else. I'm like, oh my God, I think she could coach me. You know what I mean? It's just like she just has this way.
It's kind of funny because you look at her and I don't know.
Did you listen to the presser that we keep running?
Yeah.
I'm like,
like I listened to her and I'm like, I don't know that I want to like rock with that. Like it comes off a little strange to me.
I love it.
But like obviously there's something about her that resonates with people that have actually like spoken to her.
Creighton is in the midst of a 5-0 run.
Yeah.
Right. And I looked at her and she's sitting there and I think she's thinking that I just, do the pretend caption. I'm guessing she's like, she was saying one of two things. I can't believe we're about to let this get away from us. Or, really? This ain't going to last. I'll let them have their moment. Like, it was that same look that could have said either of those two things. And I just was like, I want to know what you're thinking.
She doesn't strike me as I can't believe we're about to let this get away from us person.
I don't know, man.
That's not the vibe I get from her. Like, I don't know that she ever thinks that.
She just appears to be uber confident.
Yeah, that's why I don't think she would think that.
I didn't know she had racked up that many wins since 15 either.
Yeah, what's the number? Do you remember?
I don't know. I can't remember exactly. That was 271 maybe.
We'll look it up real quick.
Well, Nebraska has like 294 since 2015. They lead the country.
Creighton's 4th.
I know.
That's crazy.
I was like,
that's crazy.
What?
Creighton's 4th in the country in wins since 2015. Yeah, 2015.
And she's right there.
That's crazy.
I just think, and one of the reasons why I like Kirsten so much is because, like, she got to do it her way on the slow build, right? And so every time I hear Coach Rodney reference it with us when he said, hey, this is just kind of what you get with me.
212
for
DBK.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
since 17. That's since 17.
Oh, so you're cheating her like.
I mean, I'm not
probably
cheating her.
50
That's
wins
when she started.
Well, I said, and they must have used 15 to do the comp for.
That was Nebraska,
Creighton.
Yep.
Yeah, because she's on the list.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's
unbelievable.
That's a lot of winning.
Yeah.
At a place that wasn't necessarily known for that when she took over.
Were you having a hard time if you turned your ears off?
Mm-hmm.
Were you having a hard time discerning the amount of how the crowd was split, or did the red and blue fool you because how loud it was?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed pro blue.
I'll be honest. I didn't really think about it that much.
Why didn't you think about it?
Because it seemed like, I don't know. It seemed like I was assuming
you had a record crowd. You didn't think about how the crowd was impacting the match.
I think I was just assuming it was pro Nebraska, so I didn't give it.
I don't think it was,
and it may not have been.
It may have looked.
Yeah.
Pro Nebraska. I don't know if it sounded.
There was more blue than I thought there was going to be.
There's a ton of blue. I told you how crafty Rob and those guys were.
I know.
I said that the day that they dropped the tickets at 10.
Did. And yesterday.
His retweet was like at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
In 4 seconds.
Yeah. And
get your tickets now.
This second. And you mentioned it with Jacob yesterday. In years past, that has not been the case. And so I was just whenever they've done the CHI, which is why I didn't love the venue necessarily. Because
of course you didn't.
Typically when Creighton's done that, it's been a disservice to them in terms of actually being able to try and win the match. Whereas this year, it did look like there was way more blue than I had seen in the past, which I was a little surprised by, I guess. I guess the covert marketing attempts by Rob were working.
I love him though.
No, Rob's great. Their whole department's great. Rob, Glenn.
I was messing with Glenn
Love all those guys
because he was spotting for the TV broadcast, so he's right next to us.
Yeah,
and like twice, I like run over to him and say something stupid. It's usually appealing to his sense of humor, and he's got to be he's looking at me like, okay, I heard you the first time. Go away now. But I had to come back 10 minutes later and tell him again. He's looking at me like, he has that smile. He's like, okay.
He's like, yeah, I get it.
I heard you the first time. And the second time, don't come back over here again. I'm like, but Glenn, I like you. No, I'm weird. It's fine.
But yeah, I did think to myself as it went to a fifth set, I go, if DBK loses to Creighton for the first time.
Yeah, I didn't love that on the text exchange. I wanted to reach through the phone and choke.
It's one of the first things I thought of.
Well, I don't appreciate the honking for Creighton. Like, that was.
How was I honking for Creighton? I was thinking about DBK.
No, you weren't. It was backhanded.
No, it really wasn't.
If she's the first coach to lose to Creighton after John Cook,
that wasn't honking. That wasn't honking for Creighton.
Yes, it was.
It really was.
Yes, it was. And it was out of context. It was. Given the text exchanges of the volleyball,
it was the thing.
Like, you sat in the cut until the fifth set. I was like, what are we doing?
I said it after they won.
Well, I understand.
So it wasn't
a weird thing to lament about.
It was a thing I was thinking about during the fifth set.
Yeah, well, whatever.
No,
I don't even know why I let that bother me, but
I don't either. It's weird. I think I was legitimately thinking about DBK because as good as the start has been and as I think dialed in as we all think she is with this team and pushing the right buttons, like you said, like I was really curious, and I don't know how.
T-Mac said it was actually pretty split. He sent me some pics, so he would know.
Like I was actually genuinely curious what the reaction would be like, because I think everybody likes her for the most part, right? Yeah. I'm not hearing hardly anything negative. I was genuinely curious, like if it would be a Ohio State, Michigan, Ryan Day type situation where it's like, I don't care how good we are, we can't lose to that team, or what it would be.
You think Lane would be like, could I say to DBK's hubby, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take you guys out. You got to leave the kids at home. I know they're super young. Mm-hmm. Get you a sitter. I want you guys to walk me through this whole meeting thing, because I'm captivated. Well, I did it to Action Jackson.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be one of the funniest stories I've heard in about 3 years. It was much funnier when she told the story versus Austin.
When Dr. Girlfriend tells the story?
I'm not going to subscribe to that label. Like, I just want you to know, because that term is thrown around all the time, I felt like they would be the least two cool people to hang around. Like, can't she just be her name? Like, what is with the doc? I'm like, I'm not playing that.
I don't know. That's what Austin calls her. So that's what I call her.
Well, fudge, he jumped, you jump. That's what my dad would say to me.
No, but if you're like, hey, my wife likes to go by this name, I'd be like, all right.
Well, it's not his wife yet.
Right, but I'm saying, like, if you told me that your wife likes to go by, like, if you're like,
what do you call her? Jenny? Jen? Nobody calls her Jen.
I'll say
her mom. I don't know.
I usually call her Jenny.
Jenny?
Yeah. But if you were like, hey, she actually prefers Jay, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool.
You see, Rule calls her Jay?
Yeah.
I'm like, nobody gave you that blessing.
You're so petty about the weirdest things.
Shocker. This just in. I was in the wrong this morning, and then this truck doubled down.
Yeah.
And took it too far, and I was like, I don't feel like catching the case this morning.
You're like, hey.
So I'm turning right onto Harrison.
Okay.
And I probably should have waited, like, full disclosure.
Yeah.
But he was in the far left lane.
So you went into the
I went into the near lane.
The near lane, yeah.
So if anybody was going to be mad at me, it should have been the pickup truck in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
But past the apartments, he wanted to go right in front of Restaurant Depot. So he had to come over 2 lanes anyway, and it had been half a mile.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is in the inner, like, I'm not going to give his truck up. But I did say this, though. So he's honking at me, and he's like going to try to pinch me, right? But I wasn't going to move. I'm like, I'm just going to have to take this curb. Like, this dude had plenty of time to chill. And he's in the wrong for needing to get over from the left to right lane to turn right.
At
like
the last second. Yeah.
Right? Like, so 2 wrongs definitely didn't make it right, but you're really laying on the horn. This dude got ready to turn, and he kind of gave me that look, like, because I rolled down I'm going to just tell him myself. Sometimes I talk too much. So, of course, I had to roll down the window because he's still honking.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, you picked the wrong guy. This dude rolled up the window like, oh, my God, this dude is crazy. I think that's DB. He's probably telling, because I don't know who the dude was driving, who kept the passenger did just like this.
He's like, I'm not wanting anything. I'm not about it.
And I was like, man, did I book? No, I don't, originally,
yeah,
coming out on 110th, I was dead wrong. Up until the turn in front of Restaurant Depot.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm not owning that.
Yeah.
I let him know too. I wonder what he's saying.
So if I look at you,
and he's way above me because he's in a truck.
Yeah.
Like a truck.
Yeah.
I'm like, so was it my face that gave it away, or was it the Hurrdat Sports Live zip up I had? I know Bill will be calling me in about 15 minutes. Hey, man.
Can't be doing that.
I'm going to have to give you some time off. Be like, but Bill, man, come on. No. Bad for the brand. You got to know you're representing us. Gorman will be the cool one. He'd be like, come on, DB. Bill will be like, no. You ain't a cast-to-go situation.
And Sasha would be like, where are we meeting this guy?
She would have. She's right or die. It's like she'd have got her hands taped and everything.
She'd be like,
but it was two guys.
Do we see?
But the one guy was cool. And I think the other guy, once he figured it out, was like, oh, shoot. Maybe he wasn't. I'm giving myself too much credit. But he did all of a sudden chill.
Yeah.
He rolled his window up super slow.
No, we're good.
Hey, and your boy, I'm on the left, so I'm all the way losing my mind. I'm leaning over through the passenger's window to let him know he's got the wrong dude. I'm like, see, you just never know.
I find it shocking that they did it with somebody in the car. Usually those situations you're riding solo.
I don't know.
Typically.
Man.
I don't know. That's my experience. Most people don't try
and clearly I was already in a bad mood.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah. You're like, not today, brother.
Any other day I would have been cool. I'd have ate it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's on me. That's on. Yeah.
But and it wasn't even him that I turned in front of.
That's the wild part.
I'm like, why are you mad?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
This guy should have been mad. And I waved at the truck. Like, I'm a big roll down the window, I eat it guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I waved. I was like, hey, man, thank you. And this dude tried to blow by me on the horn. And then he was going to pinch me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was on and popping now. I said, shoot. After the news I just got,
Dude, I had to eat one the other day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were you wrong?
Oh, 100%. I just didn't see him. So I was on.
Aren't those the best?
Oh, I was so mad at myself, and I was just like, "You're right, man." And so I was on Dodge.
Yeah.
And it was, I think it was when school was letting out, so there was a bunch of traffic. I think it was like 156. I think there was a bunch of traffic coming from Kiewit. And so I was trying to get over a lane to let the
Kobe said yelling at somebody in company attire is insane. Is that any worse than the guy being in a company truck? Or you just being Kobe again?
Company truck is probably worse.
Yeah, Kobe's on a bad 3-day run because I was chastising him about the smoker. He usually rocks with me, but Kobe is. Get back to the old Kobe. Start picking on Ravi. Go ahead anyway.
I think company truck is worse. First of all. Especially if you're like trying to.
And how? I mean, there's no way he could have. I mean, he could have, but it'd have been hard to read. This dude is like a half a story above me.
But so I'm trying to get over so I could let the. I was actually.
And I am insane too, by the way, Kobe.
Oh, so that's accurate. I was trying to do a nice thing and get over so the people on the on ramp could get in the far right lane.
Okay, so what?
This was like 156 in Dodge.
And you're getting off?
No, I'm on Dodge. I'm trying to get over so the people getting on can get in the lane.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to do a nice thing.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But I didn't. There was a motorcycle riding in my blind spot, and I just couldn't see him.
Yeah.
And so I've got the blind spot detectors. I check over my shoulder.
Does it light up?
Yeah, it lights up, and if they're real close, it'll beep at me. It's a very good blind spot monitor. Nothing there. I checked just to make sure. I just couldn't see him.
Mm-hmm.
And he obviously swerves and then rides up right next to me and stares at me through his helmet. And I'm like, sorry, but it's my bad. I didn't see you.
Yeah.
But I had to eat that one though. That's on me.
Motorcycles are tough. I was on Dodge coming from 204th heading east.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had to go through, I don't know. Oh, there was a shower on Saturday. So I had to go get Ryder from 204th-ish from the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming back through Gretna to 204th and Dodge, and I'm heading back towards the interstate on what would be just east of Old Mill, right? So I'm coming all the way down Dodge Expressway. And it was, I mean, people were obviously coming back from the game, even though it was like probably 4:15-ish. I watched two motorcycles. They were boys, and one had a super sweet helmet, so it got my attention because it was like this bald eagle. And these dudes were just weaving their brains out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, part of me was, and it didn't affect me, so I wasn't bothered either way. I was more mesmerized at the stones it took to maneuver like full speed in between the cars, and they were like going in tandem. So I mean, it did look kind of sweet. It's highly dangerous.
Sure,
it did look pretty sweet, but motorcycle, I don't know like what the real rules are, because I watch them do that all the time, and I don't know.
I know
I
you're
don't
not
think it's illegal. I don't think it's illegal though.
No, but you can get like dinged for driving recklessly if you're like weaving in and out like that.
Have you seen the new point laws? Yeah, I think in DOT and folks are mad about all the accidents. Like, so the driver's license points are significantly worse.
Are they more aggressive? Like,
yes.
Yeah, more punitive.
Yeah, and they're gonna get you for the move over. Better get your booned out of the way.
Travis says some of that is on the rider. As someone that rides, you don't put yourself in those spots because they're just places that you're even harder to see than usual. So I appreciate that, Travis. I didn't want to make excuses. I couldn't tell if he had been weaving,
and
or
some
not.
of those guys can kind of push it too, right? It's like they creep up on you in a hurry.
Yeah, they kind of ride real close because they can. Like a lot of times they're really close to the other cars. So I don't know. I don't know if he was doing that or not. I just know I didn't.
So my guy with the sweet helmet, his knee, he went from right to left. So he went from the southernmost lane to the northernmost lane. His knee was about 3 inches off the ground.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah, like on some of those it gets aggressive.
I'm terrified of motorcycles. So I was, part of me was like in awe.
I appreciate the skill level.
This dude is terrifying.
I do think some of them are a little crazy the way they like. I just don't.
And like I said, they were doing it in tandem. He could adapt his boy up if he wanted to. That's how it was.
That's wild.
Is it weird that I kind of thought it was cool at the time?
No, I get that it looks cool, but it's not. I mean, that's not. I'm not about that life. I'm not trying to ride motorcycles like that. That's not for me.
What up, Shador? Lane split. What is I should probably just Google. What is lane splitting?
Oh, so I think that's when you like go between lanes.
Oh, just what it says.
Yeah, so like when you're riding the dot.
Oh, but I thought motorcycles could do that. They do that all the time.
I think it's legal some places. Kobe's saying it's not legal here.
Huh.
I think there are places where it is legal. I think it's, at least it used to be legal, I think, in California.
Which is what I was just getting ready to say where I saw it.
In California?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my sister used to live out there in LA, and I'd see that all the time. I don't know if it was illegal or just a thing they let everybody do. Like, you know how it is sometimes? Like it's not legal to run stoplights in Nebraska and Omaha, but we kind of just do. Like people kind of.
For sure, the rolling red light.
Yeah, for sure. Like through the yellows and the reds. But I just I had to eat that one. I don't know if it was 100% my fault, but I never saw him.
Yeah.
And I felt bad about it.
There's this part of me that I'm terrified of motorcycles.
Yeah.
But there is this part of me that's like kind of mesmerized when I see.
Oh, for sure.
But some of it does border on foolishness.
The physics of it don't even make sense to me.
But this is coming from a guy that would enjoy swimming with sharks. So I get the
thrill of it.
Yeah, I don't want to be a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Like I get the thrill of the ride because I'm definitely gonna touch
a shark before you die.
I mean, short of if I croak in the next year, which is a high probability given the fact I can be reckless. But I'm gonna dap up a shark.
Travis says it is legal in California. It helped them get out of the flow of traffic since traffic's so bad out there. So that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'll ride with that.
Joseph wants Husker wrestling. I do think it is good news on the Bo and Melvin front, Joseph, from what I hear.
Bo Bassett?
Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to some money though.
I think it always does.
Does it?
Well, I don't know about wrestling. And I guess not in football either, but
I mean, this is high end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're half brothers too, which is even crazier.
You know what I'm trying to figure out, and maybe this may be a different topic for a different day, but I'm trying to figure out with like Husker wrestling or wrestling in general, or I was thinking about this with Texas Tech softball with like the $1 million pitcher. and stuff, I'm starting to wonder because I feel like you're going to have a really hard time showing a return on investment there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dollars just aren't there for some of the Olympic sports that are there for basketball, football, volleyball in Nebraska.
And we got just too early, but she ran into Coach Manning after we talked to her that morning.
Mm-hmm.
And she had all sorts of news. I'm like, damn it. We should bring you back tomorrow, but that may be overkill.
Well, we are going to talk to your guy.
We'll get KC today, though.
We'll talk to your guy, Kyle Crooks, at 9 o'clock today.
I saw those pictures, JD, of open wrestling. Coach Manning tweeted it out. He said thanks to everybody that came to the open practice. It was deep.
Was it?
Yeah. And that wrestling, I don't know, man. Good on you guys. You're used to foul smells. And far be it from me to talk who is in a locker room 40% of my life and had Micah's pads in my car yesterday.
Oof.
I was like, look, man. Hey.
Can I just say, last year, I walked by the West Side locker room because somebody took me through the building because they were being kind. Because I parked in the wrong spot
with the construction.
Because you had told me and I forgot, and so that was on me. But somebody was being super kind. I think it was the girls' tennis coach was being super nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Hey, I'll walk you through the building." I was like, "Thank you so much." We walked by the locker room, just walked by it, and I was like, "Oh my God." It was awful.
It's too much.
It was awful.
And I'm sure wrestlers are fine with the wrestling room, and they can spend a ton of money on their chemicals and mat cleaning and all that.
Well, you have to, right?
I mean, those wrestling rooms can be funky.
Yeah. I don't know if like basketball locker rooms smell different than football locker rooms, but the West Side thing was a different animal when I walked by.
Yeah. And we have those coaches, both Coach Friend and Coach Lamanji are big clean the locker room guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they even tell you when to take your gear. Like, just wash the gear.
Yeah,
man.
you should wash the gear.
Just go wash the gear.
You should wash the gear.
It was so bad a couple of weeks ago. I text Jay Terry. I said, hey, man, Nebraska's equipment manager.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, I know you're busy, but what do you guys clean with?
Because we need help.
Just the helmets.
Yeah.
I don't know what I did. I must have just ran around funky and didn't pay attention.
Didn't realize it's your kid.
Because now I'd be like, I'm not wearing that.
Like, I need a different one.
And they'd be like, yeah, well, go sit your little behind down somewhere because that's how it's going down. But my helmet also does weigh like 38 pounds.
Yeah.
And theirs now weigh like 4.
A little different.
Like, why my head is so misshapen?
I've got it's like Millard North JV helmet in my car right now.
Of course, it's got to be Millard North.
Well, that's where I went. I don't know what to tell you. Where else would I get it?
That's fine.
And it is, that thing is so heavy and the padding in there looks so ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing in the world. I was like, what were we doing here?
Oh, no.
This can't be a good idea.
I think that's maybe why I was going to say my neck is strong from carrying a helmet, but I think it's strong from carrying this big old block.
Well, I was going to say, that's why you don't have any sense.
Wow. It's fine. I have been suffering from headaches, though.
Headaches, stomach aches, just the whole thing.
See, you're dragging the stomach thing out, man. You got everybody on it. I had one tough stretch. That's it.
Okay.
In 50 years. And you made it seem like I'm this walking dysentery, listeria, salmonella carrying dude. It was one bad stretch.
Yeah.
I thought I had an ulcer, and you're making it about my food consumption.
Because that seems more likely.
That thing is taking on a life of its own. I'm like, this dude.
I know. That's my bad.
No, it's what you do.
It is my bad. I'm just not sorry. That's why I said my bad.
Incredible.
We've got Brian Christopherson coming up today. We've got Kevin Sjuts as well. As I mentioned, Kyle Crooks at 9. And then we're going to have a little special guest. We got Tony Veland at 9:40, part of the 1995 Nebraska National Championship team. He's going to talk to us, I think, about whatever, but we'll ask him about what's going on this weekend as well.
Ask him if he likes being around his friends.
I feel like that's a loaded question.
I'm curious.
Has he not been hanging out with you lately?
Oh, he's just a quiet dude.
Yeah. No, I know. I met him at your party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
kind of just stays
He minds his own business.
Stays to himself a little bit. Do you want to get TK now or take a break real quick?
Let's get TK now.
All right, TK. He wants to talk about the Michigan game. I don't know why. It's not like that's coming up or anything. TK, what's going on, bud?
Good morning, fellas.
Cooch, what's up, buddy?
Thought I'd call and save your butt, DB.
Hey, sometimes I just say whatever it is I'm thinking, as you know.
Yeah.
What's up?
I brought this up a couple weeks ago about what type of defense Michigan was going to run. I gave you guys time to ponder.
Yeah.
And then you kind of stole that for talking to guests without giving me credit.
Wait.
Um,
You think you had a football take that I didn't think of? You're not saying that, are you?
Oh, I'm just saying that it appeared on the show coming through my mouth before it came out of either of your mouths.
What are you talking about, to be specific?
What's the defense going to look like? Is it going to look like Iowa, or what's going to look like against Michigan for Nebraska, since John Butler is a little bit more free-flowy idea-wise than Tony White was?
Huh. So when I said, are they going to – I doubt they'd come out in a bare front, but could they dare Underwood the throw like they did Iowa? You wanted me to say, I got that epiphany from Cooch? GTFO.
Yeah. No, so do you think it's more likely that we see the patented Jay Foreman, I'm actually a three technique, or double two eyes?
So I think, and we're going to get into this with Michael Rose-Ivy, where I think TK, we're going to see what I would call a tight front, TITE, where I think you'll see Nebraska play with some 404s.
Okay.
I think. Now, I could be wrong, but it's a lot of what I'm just looking at, the sistering or the marrying between. That's a bad way to look at it. You don't marry your sister, but the marrying or the sister fronts of what Oklahoma did with some of those tight fronts, which is versus or in addition to what I think how Nebraska's given some new looks to. I don't know how this came across my algorithm, and I can't remember the dude's name. Blue Chuck maybe, or Blue something.
Oh, I think I saw this.
Where he was talking about Nebraska's front getting pushed around because they're too small.
Yeah.
But he used the Cincinnati game, which I felt like was a little bit of a – I mean, I guess I get why he did it if he's looking for a reason to be optimistic for when Nebraska plays Michigan. But they're already vastly different than they were versus Cincinnati. So I don't know if I would hang my hat on using that film. But I did. But that just came across my algorithm.
You know, for talking about Oklahoma, you might be bringing up the correct phrase, marrying your sister.
Wow. It's it.
And then I was going to ask.
Par for the course for this. And I'm going to get myself in trouble, huh? All right, TK.
And since MRI is definitely probably like top 3 smartest people who appear on this show, and I am very, very far away from that list. How do you think they will marry that kind of front with wanting to go after, like John Butler said, a specific offensive lineman that somebody last
Were you surprised that he alluded to that?
No, he's really forward. When he gets annoyed at dumb questions, he's very forward.
Gosh, you know what's funny? And I appreciate the call. You know what's funny about TK saying that?
What's that?
That's the 3rd time in 20 hours that somebody has referenced the type of questions Nebraska staff got yesterday. And I'm just telling you, I don't pay that close attention to the types of questions. And a lot of these are like colleagues or peers or friends. So I don't really get into that. But I am surprised that he's the 3rd. That is fun. I gotta ask my boy if he heard that. Because
are we talking about Brady Norton? Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean indirectly.
Yeah. I mean, I know that he didn't say the name Brady Norton.
And indirectly.
Yeah.
But what did he say yesterday?
Who?
Did somebody really just ask if Coach Holgerson, if he had talked to Dylan about playing in big games?
Oh, yeah.
So
that was DeMarinis.
Yeah, it was. Listen,
because he's like, was he not there for Colorado last year?
Oh, it was DeMarinis that said that. Yeah. You didn't have to give up Matty, though.
Oh, why not? He wasn't in the press conference. And he's a Creighton guy. He's going to crush the Nebraska guys. It's fine.
I'm sure Matty has to love you.
He works for an establishment called White and Blue Review. What am I supposed to do with that?
But the other one, like, I don't.
And I love
I got to
Matty,
go back and listen to the questions. I really do. And Shane, we have that clip.
Is it weird? I listen to the answers way more than I listen to the questions.
Do you? Yeah, me too.
Because I don't
think that's weird.
I think a lot of times
I can't hear a lot of the questions.
Yeah, I can't hear them great. And a lot of times, unless I totally don't understand, like I can kind of get the general context of the question from the start of the answer usually.
Yeah.
And so I don't worry that much about it.
Hey, Liquid, play that response for me, please.
Putting the ball in play. I think we're doing a fantastic job of putting the ball in play. You know, that is something that I talk to him about nonstop. You know, not wasting plays. You know, not. And what do I mean by wasted plays? Well, it's incompletions. It's throwaways. You know, it's pressure. You know, it's not running the ball when we need to run the ball. He's a student of the game, you know, and so he's done a great job of knowing the game plan and executing the game plan to where we put the thing in play as much as we can.
I don't know if it was somebody. I think it was Sip because we got super. I was almost late starting the pregame show. Shocker. Because we got to talking about fighting and capping the fight.
Oh yeah.
And it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
And
he's a big boxing guy.
And we were supposed to call him this week, and I forgot to tell Shane. He's like, hey, I want to get, like, let me on, you know, I know it's exclusive with the guest, but let me get on. I was like, yeah, funny guy, whatever. But anyway, we were just talking about, I said, all you need to know about Dylan's growth and command in this offense is there's been 22 targets in 2 games. I can't spin that any way other than dude is distributing the rock because he knows what's going on. 22 targets in 2 games.
And it's not like that was all bolstered by Houston Christian or Akron. Like,
no, I'm well aware.
He had 5 guys with 5 catches against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Like it's been very consistent how he's done that.
And it was Akron up until then before he had left the game.
Akron, yeah.
So I hadn't even counted. Houston Christian hadn't even happened yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think that's a really good example of kind of his growth and command of the offense. There's something I'm super optimistic about with this game. And
hey, did you read the mayor? He's a trip.
Oh, what'd he say?
I can't even read that out loud.
Is he in our comments or on Twitter?
Social media.
Okay.
He's on Twitter.
I'll find it.
I met somebody in his family the other day.
Yeah.
And I said, I was getting a poke bowl, and I said, he goes, he totally name dropped him. He goes, man, you know my such and such, and I don't want to give the family member up. And I was like, yeah. I said, that's my boy. I said, we call him the mayor. He's just super diplomatic. And he goes, he ain't known like that in our family circles. He knows everything. Just ask him. And I go, I could kind of see that too.
You're gonna have to tag me. I don't think I'm tagged in that one.
You are.
Am I?
Yes. Nuts.
Do I have him muted? I might have him muted.
I'm pretty sure that's your name.
Yeah.
Crackhead. Doesn't that say L3?
It does. I don't know why it's not showing up on my Twitter.
So if you're on your computer, my phone always gets them before it shows up online on my computer. I don't know what it is. It's probably about 10 seconds different.
I don't think I've blocked him. I don't know. We'll see.
No, you told me you liked him.
I think I do. I don't know why I would have.
You might have been in one of your moods.
I do have those.
I know. I'm well aware.
Good thing you don't.
Wow, BCD, just big blame, complain, deflect guy. What do you do? You did it too.
What about you, DB?
Goofball.
Just birds of a feather situation.
No, we ain't flocking nowhere. You do your own thing.
What the flock are you talking about? We're gonna talk to Brian Christopherson coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Centris Federal Credit Union, we understand that the journey of building your own business typically starts with modest beginnings. With a little help from our team of experts and small business loan offerings, you can take your vision and transform it into a more concrete reality. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Well, and if maybe that's not for you, there are other ways you can help.
Yes.
I know you've got a big event coming up here on September 18th. It's called For Potential 2025. For spelled FORE. It's a little golf event, play on words.
Yes.
I like that. So if maybe you're like, hey, I would love to get involved. Maybe I don't have the time commitment. Maybe that's not my specific skill set. This is an opportunity for other people. Tell me a little bit about For Potential.
Yeah, so For Potential, we're really excited. It is an event that is being hosted at Topgolf. So it's an Thursday afternoon. Folks can come and it's just open play. And we will have lots of different kind of like targeted fun activities throughout the day, opportunities to collect or to get some prizes. And then we'll also have a silent auction going on for really, really incredible trips. We've got some really cool trips that we're so excited about.
Everybody in the Big Ten is going to play good defense. What stands out to me, that's why we're all here. It's why I'm here. It's why this coaching staff's here. It's why the majority of our players came here is for Big Ten football. The highest level of football. I'm excited about it. I dabbled in it last year for 3 games. It was awesome. So looking forward to 9 of them. So no disrespect to Michigan at all. I'm just excited about Big Ten play. So, with that becomes a lot of challenges. There's a lot of really good defense that's played in this league, and Michigan certainly set the standard for that for a long time. So I've never competed against them. That excites me. They got a great coaching staff. They got great players, great tradition. It's something that we understand as well. So just really excited for the opportunity.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Quarterbacks that move out of the pocket are a little bit of a concern, but we saw that in week 1. We've made our adjustments, both schematically and just philosophically. So I think we're going to be a little bit more prepared for that element of the game in terms of, how we call the game, how we approach that player, and each player is different. The quarterback for Cincinnati had really a history of being a runner, and when you watch number 19, he is a pro-style drop-back quarterback with enough athleticism to get out of there, but he wants to be a pro quarterback that's going to sit in the pocket and throw the football and make reads. So. Similar players, but different in their own way.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla, reminding you, if you're on the road this morning, get those eyes up and those phones down so that you don't have an incident like me and DB this morning. Got to keep that head on a swivel. Make sure you're paying attention. Don't get distracted. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We're going to talk to our friend Brian Christopherson from Husker247 here. I think DB might have a leading question here. What's going on, BC?
I'm not going to do it to my man, B Sizzle.
Yeah.
Hi, Brian.
What do you got?
Are you okay? This is a black couch moment, so you can totally be the shrink. But there were a couple people who wanted to give me a hard time about my initial hot takes on Bryce Underwood. Because for a handful of weeks, I've been saying Bryce Underwood is not really a dual threat quarterback. He's never been labeled a dual threat quarterback. He doesn't really want to run, this whole nine, right? So then all of a sudden, under my man, the Biffster, Pogiati, he is like running the ball, and we got QB run game. So in the stream yesterday, I was getting my wrist slapped, anecdotally, of course, just folks being sarcastic about, oh, really? I thought he wasn't a running quarterback. And I said, you got to watch how he actually moved the ball. I'll take me in terms of his breakdown. So Ravi is hysterically laughing, goading me into taking a victory lap because Coach Butler, who's significantly smarter than me, reiterated the exact same thing that I've been saying. So I kind of feel validated outside of the numbers that I saw Bryce Underwood put up yet this weekend. That's what Robbie's talking about. So what say you, BC?
I would say that you should feel validated because what was it? 9 rushes, and John Butler said 2 were designed that he saw, 7 he counted as scrambles, freelance plays. I had not watched the game early in the week.
Nor had anybody else that was chastising me, BC. I said, watch the game. Take me.
I think the analytics had it at 6.
Oh, he was off one.
So I'm just for clarity's sake. But the point stands.
Hey, we're tense this week, BC. It's Michigan week.
The point still stands.
Fight.
Much like it was against Sorsby, there was not a lot of
Indian and non-white.
There's a lot of non-designed QB run, I think was the point.
Right. Well, I suppose the challenge still remains of, like, you have to have good lane discipline and, caging your rushes, well, knowing that he does have the capability to make a play when it breaks down. But, I would say you were vindicated on that one, that he's not by label a dual threat guy. He's more of a
Uh-oh. You there?
I think John Butler. Yeah, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
There you go. There you go.
No, I think I'll just cut it off with that one. I think you were kind of proven right by John Butler there.
BC, let me ask you something on a lighter note. Ravi brought something up that I did not think about when I accost you every Saturday. Is that your downtime to get ready? And I'm being invasive.
No. I mean, what am I doing? I'm just sitting there. Like,
I don't know. You seem approachable. That's what I think it is.
I feel like I am approachable, and I like to be approached by you. I always say, have a good call, Damon. I like to think that's do. Like really. Yeah. I like to think that you take that as very meaningful. You're like, man, that meant a lot that guy gave me that encouragement just before I go to the mic. I'm going to have a good one just for him today. So yes,
that's kind of true. Because what's my response every week? I always say, hey man, appreciate that. Will do.
You always say, I'll do it for you, BC. You look me in the eye and you say, I'll do it for you. That's how I remembered it. I don't know. Maybe that's not right.
Oh shoot. Close enough.
Yeah, something like that.
So your colleagues, it's not that they don't want to see me. They just have the same routine every game, right? They're going down to get they got to do like the photog stuff.
Yeah, they're getting pictures of the recruits here on the sideline. They bring them out about the time you come over. So it's not intentional, at least not that I know of. No one has said that.
Shave coming back like, man, I'm glad I missed that damn DB. He gets on my nerves.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's intentional at all. Especially this week, I know they'll be down there early
huge,
for a while because, man, it's gonna be a sight down there.
Hey, so Coach Rule said something about, he's like, hey, we're recruiting against Michigan and Alabama and Ohio State. Sometimes I think people kind of roll their eyes, but there is zero fear in bringing in recruits, some on repeats that have just been other places with the Michigan game looming. It's not like they're saying to themselves, oh, man, we can't bring any recruits in here. We might have a poor showing. You just get the sense and maybe it's not necessarily a direct correlation of who they're bringing in, because the 2:30 time slot does help. But they are definitely embracing this weekend as a showcase.
Oh, no question about it. You know, I did an interview in the summer with a few guys who were passing through as sort of for that huddle event. And it was, you know, like Juju Johnson and DeVay Williams. And it was like 3 guys in a row. And I was thinking, like, all these guys are going to play in the NFL probably in a few years. And here they are in Lincoln in the summer. And of a good share of those guys are coming back now. And they like the town then. Those guys who were here for during that 7v7 tournament and the huddle event. But it's going to be a completely different animal. I don't even think they know what's about to hit them for this game and sort of the intensity that's going to surround the town on this weekend. So it's one thing to get them like that setup visit in the summer. I think it's very important. It lays the groundwork. You build the relationship sort of in the quiet time when it's a little bit more still. But then you kind of hit with that second punch that is very powerful now. Like, okay, this is we told you maybe have figured out this is a football town and this place is all about it. Now you're going to see it for sure. And it's going to confirm it to you. So I do think it's a big deal because there is a good amount of these guys that are repeat visitors. And that's why I've always said, you know, I know there were some worries about the last recruiting class's rankings. It was more just a numbers thing with how many they took. And if you look at how they're set up for 27, 28, even 29, I think Nebraska's further out in front than they've been in a while. And now if they coupled that with the win on Saturday, where does that take it? That's the thing.
BC, speaking of guys that Nebraska's targeting, I know that there were a couple UCLA commits that, especially on the D-line, Nebraska had been interested in that had committed to UCLA and are no longer committed to UCLA. How much of a factor do you think Nebraska is going to try and get back into those situations?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's plenty of time to make hay with guys who have been committed elsewhere, and I think there's still guys who are going to tweak their decisions after their fall visits, and certainly there's going to be some programs where people are just going to bail because of the coaching situation and the program seems like it's rudderless. So there's no way you would say Nebraska wouldn't have a good chance with some of those guys. And I do think they've got a good footprint going or starting to build again with California in certain spots, and they can get some stuff done there. So no doubt there's like some programs where if a guy was committed there, I don't know that it means a whole lot at the moment.
BC, let me ask you something. If you're in Nebraska and you're looking at kind of your philosophy and how you've recruited and how you target guys, is it a fine line? Is it just you do what you do and let the results be what they may? Where I've always said this, it doesn't matter if they're going to recruit a certain style and if they win, they win. The evaluation is the evaluation is what I'm saying. How important do you think a particular game like this could be in the grand scheme of things, knowing that they are pretty consistent with how and who they target to begin with?
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things that they already have the relationships with a lot of these guys. They've already done their research with their staff on why you want to at least be this far along in the process with the recruit. And now I do think it's, you know, both sides are still filling each other out. You learn more about a prospect every time they're in town and like if their style fits you and vice versa. But a game like this, you know, I think, well, first off, I would say Rule would say that practices are still the best place for a recruit to come. I mean, he said this on the record, to come actually see coaches coach, to see what they're all about in that practice setting. So that's still like maybe the top thing as far as like the recruit getting a feel for like what a coach is like with his players and how he operates and how it would be sort of in the daily basis. But I do think there's something to be said for them now getting a look at sort of how the staff and how the roster is wired on a game day, and then just how this crowd and this team are married together. This is a fan base that is very close to its football team. You're going to see that on Saturday. Whenever there's a game of this magnitude, it really comes out. And so I think that's the thing that really hits home with a lot of guys. They're going to understand, like, I've heard in the summer it's like a pro team and this is the show in town. Yes, it is. It's just such a, like, if you haven't seen it up close, I do think it kind of blows guys' mind, like how much it is the pro squad in the state.
BC, let me ask you something. You're looking at Michigan offensively, and I've got a follow-up if Ravi will give me a little latitude here. You want to come out of this game with a victory. And I said this yesterday. I said, are you starting out with trying to seek justice, i.e. shut down the running game from the handoff standpoint, or you want to cut the head of the snake off with the quarterback? If you had to pick one and you want to read about a W the next day, where are you starting?
Man, that's a good question. It's a 1A, 1B kind of answer, right? I guess I would say the running backs, because that going in is still the thing I wonder. Michigan, I think, has proven to be the type of program that is willing to win a game. Like, go back to last year when they beat USC somehow, where they couldn't throw the ball at all. I mean, they had it was like 1947 type offense, what they were running that day. And they still went 90 plus yards thanks to a long run, but on the game winning drive, just like pounding away all game long with base stuff in their run game and their running backs. And I think they're the type of program where they're not going to be afraid, even in this setting, to try to do that if they have to. And so this is the deal where, okay, I think this D-line has made some progress in the last few weeks, probably even more so behind the scenes than we realize on the day-to-day.
Well, look at the numbers played distribution since week 1.
Yeah. I think a lot of guys have gotten some game experience that's helped, but I think the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all that stuff has been big in building up some of those D linemen. But there is still that curiosity. It's not pessimism about what the D line can do for Nebraska. It is a curiosity. Like, are they going to step up and meet this moment? And can you cut that run game off where early on we're not seeing the Michigan 1-2 backs getting 5 yards a pop, or it feels like a 2 or 3 yard run is turning into 5 or 6. So that's my answer. But I think your question, you could go the other way with it too. If you can get Underwood a little shaken early in this game, that could make all the difference as well.
Okay, so the follow-up to that is, and I asked this yesterday, if you're going to write a future headline and Nebraska wins, what coordinator or specifically assistant is in that follow-up lead paragraph?
I said, I kind of got asked this the other day, and I said John Butler won, and I'll stick with that. But you know how this is. I mean, these games can go any direction. Like, this could be the Saturday where we've talked all off season about Dana Holgerson having 8 months to work with Dylan Raiola. They're all on the same page. They have such a good understanding of each other. And maybe it's the game where that's the headline, that they're ready to roll in an atmosphere like this, and the pre-snap knowledge of Dylan and all that stuff just pays off. And so I've kind of gone back and forth. I think, though, I'll stick with my original answer that the defense is the group that I want to see meet the moment, that defensive line. And I want to see, as much as we talk about position groups where we wonder about them and if they're ready for it, I want to see the strength, which we've talked about being the secondary. I want to see them flex in this game. Like, let's see that. Like, this is a group that is confident on the back end. And if they play like that and play well against Michigan on the perimeter, that's going to open up a lot of stuff for Nebraska's D-line and also different pressures they want to bring at Underwood. So I think if we're talking about a W, it might start with John Butler having a really solid game plan and his guys just going out there and executing it as he hoped.
We're talking with Brian Christopherson, Husker247. BC, looking at the offensive side of the ball for Nebraska, I keep looking at the way Michigan kind of likes to play defense and bringing pressure and bringing extra guys. And I can't help but think that if that's what they want to do, that's advantage Dylan Raiola. Am I crazy?
Nope, I think you're right. I think it's a great opportunity if they do that for Dylan to show how well he's seeing it. Now, obviously, we've got to back it up, but I buy into the idea that I don't care about the competition. I think he's playing at a really high level and he's seeing the game really well right now. And so he's the type of quarterback that I think you want in this type of chess match. And if they're going to do that, there is going to be that opportunity to burn him on it. And I think he's got the receivers that have upgraded a little bit this year to do that. I like also guys that through the first 3 games that ball's been distributed around so much. Like everybody's kind of at the receiver position had their moment early on in this season to sort of be the guy and step up. And so I think that's good that that's sort of out of the way. It's like, okay, everybody knows they can make some plays with Dylan this year. Now let's take the next step. And, you know, this is why Dane Key came here for games like this. And then Isaiah Hunter the same way. And Isaiah was a little more quiet last week. It was kind of Dane and others week, the backups week. But I think Isaiah Hunter is a big wild card in this game and has already shown in the opener at Arrowhead that he could win some 50-50 balls that can tilt the thing. And let's see if he can do it again.
So, BC, how important at the end of the day, if you had to rank them, and we heard if you had to rank them, where does special teams fall for you? Is it third? Is it second? Should it be paramount? If you're talking about impacting the game in its entirety, where does special teams rank for you?
Well, see, like I don't really want to rank them because I would say like third if I had to rank offense, defense, special teams, but I don't look at it that. I think they all gotta be there. It's got to be like Thanksgiving where you get a piece of every pie from your aunts, you know, all 3 on the plate. Like I want all 3 of them. And I was talking to the Michigan writer for our site the other day, or asked them about their special teams. They're a little nervous. They don't know what they have exactly there with some of the kicking game and some of what's going there. I think in the return game too, it's been some anxious moments. And so this is a great opportunity on this stage for specials that to be the group has a plus their name and this way more confident. Maybe I could say Wilson, despite we've only seen 3 times. I don't know if it feels like he was meant to do, like it seems so obvious. And in his debut, he has 2 punts inside the 10, and one of them was huge, obviously, with a few minutes left in that game. So I feel good about that. I just want to see the details sharp. Don't kick the ball out of bounds this week. I want to see that kick return coverage dialed in. I have a different philosophy on sort of the kick return thing. I think they're going to be aggressive. I kind of still am a wave your hand and take it at the 25 guy. I just hope there's not that moment, because this could be a 3 or 4 point game where you get a little bold with the return, you take a penalty or something, and you start a drive at your own 8-yard line, and it kind of makes the field position game difficult. So it's stuff like that I'm kind of looking for. And then I do think there's going to be a moment where Archie has a chance to pin them deep. And if they can execute that, can Nebraska's defense play off of it and have that sequence where you back that up with the 3 and out and you turn it into points? And so there's going to be some moment in this game over about a 5-minute span where those series of events are going to happen for one team or another. And I really think that could decide who wins it. And if Nebraska can be that team where you pin them deep, you play the field position game right in the right moment, you get the stop, that very well could be what gives you the edge.
BC, full disclosure. I grew up up until I was about 10. I'm a huge Michigan fan, right? I mean, Caleb's middle name is Braylon, and it's named after Braylon Edwards. And I was colorblind, so I thought, maize and blue was really black and gold. I was always looking for somebody that looked like the Steelers. Like, I'm just a weird, dumb kid, right? But there's this part of me that's watched them evolve from the Kohlers and the Schembechlers and some of these players. Woodson's one of my favorite players of all time of any sport. I watch them defensively now. I was on Brown a lot, Don Brown. I'm like, hey, the high pressure, high risk, high reward, it's not going to work. And, Wink is going to be a guy that brings pressure. I watch how they play downhill. They play fast. They're super active. When you look at how Nebraska wants to play, do you look at that as a strength or a weakness, kind of, in terms of how do you think Nebraska wants to move the ball versus how Michigan likes to kind of play downhill and dictate tempo on defense?
I don't know for sure, but I think it can be a strength for Nebraska. And I kind of connected to Ravi's question earlier, where I think it's going to open up the door for some explosive possibilities. And it's just a matter of, can you get the payoff when it's there? Like there's always it's those 2 or 3 plays that pop up during the course of a game where, okay, they overreached a little bit, sort of like the fight, Saturday night, where there's an opening for a guy, it's someone overreaches and you can take advantage of it big time. And I am feeling more optimistic this year about Dylan's growth and the receivers that they can cash in there. But, we'll see in those moments. So my short answer is yes, though. I think it can be a strength for Nebraska because of a quarterback and I think his understanding of the game is at a far different level than it was a season ago. And I'm not underplaying. Bryce Underwood could go out there and be dynamite. I mean, it's very possible. He's got a lot of talent. He's going to be a good quarterback.
There's a reason he was number 1 ranked quarterback.
Could be a great quarterback. But he's a young quarter. He's in that first year, and everybody nationally kind of like decided they had their understanding of Dylan based off his true freshman year. And I just think there's an opportunity Saturday for him in this offense to show. Actually, you wrote those stories a little prematurely. Like there's been some growth here, and the guy on the other side is actually going through what Dylan did. So I don't know. I think that can be an advantage for Nebraska. They've got to make it so, but I kind of feel I would guess that it's going to be an advantage for Nebraska, and now it's got to play out that way.
Let me ask you something, B. So you just following fairly close, right? And talking to some former Michigan guys, Brandon Williams, some of these guys from Omaha, they describe Underwood as, kind of this Vince Young type, big, strong, can run, obviously the great pocket presence, the arm. But they're waiting for his receivers to kind of develop. And when I'm having these conversations this week, I'm like, gosh, there's some eerie similarities to Dylan year 1 with what's around him and how they can accentuate his strengths as a first-year quarterback. Can Nebraska win do you foresee a situation in whomever wins this game that it doesn't boil down to the quarterback that played the best?
Yeah, definitely could see that. And it could be the trenches, but it could just as much be the perimeter guys. It could be your wide receivers. A game like this that is a 2-point spread, a lot of people think is going to come down to a play or two. Well, who's got the better playmakers that goes and gets that one ball that's a DB from Michigan thinks he's got a beat on it. No, Isaiah Hunter takes it away, or Dane Key takes it away. Or Michigan's wide receivers, obviously, if they haven't had the greatest jump from the blocks, they're going to want to prove they're those guys. That's where I'm optimistic for Nebraska because I do think they've upgraded at receiver, and I also think their DBs are walking tall in a good way. Like, I just think there's a nice swagger to that group right now, and if they can match up Michigan's wideouts one-on-one, and you know, you got Andrew Marshall and Sierre and Donnie Jones and those guys, and you know, I think Deshaun Singleton's gonna have a big say in this game in a lot of different ways. Like, he's gonna be, we've heard all offseason how he's a versatile piece. I think he's gonna get moved around, and you're gonna see a lot of different things from him. But if this secondary, I'll go back to that point, if they are the strength, one of the top strengths of this team, and they really flex in this game, that maybe that's the headline. That could be the storyline about why Nebraska wins if they win the game, because it's going to make it a lot more difficult on a freshman quarterback if his guys are getting locked down.
BC, last thing from me here, as we kind of heard John Butler talk yesterday, and as I've been watching the Michigan games and going through their analytics and stuff like that, I feel like there might be some opportunities to take advantage of their offensive line. Is that something that you think, A, is true, and B, do you think that we're assuming the Michigan offensive line is maybe better than it is just because of their recent history?
I don't know. It may be a wash because Nebraska fans aren't in love with their own defensive line, and Michigan fans aren't in love with their own offensive line. So, I mean, maybe that's the game within the game.
Yeah, could be. I mean, you could put it that way. It's the prove it game for both those both sides on the trenches there. You know, Michigan's O-line and Nebraska's D-line. And I again use the word just curiosity more so with Nebraska's D-line. It's not to me like a down in the dumps thought about where they are or what they can be. I think on paper, Nebraska's got a great setup to be really, really good in that group in 26. And now they have a chance to show, actually, we're on the fast track. Like, we're already kind of that group in 25. But it's a game like this where you try to stamp that and change people's minds on it a little bit from the offseason and all the whatever anxiousness that's been about it. But perhaps Michigan's O-line feels the same way, you know, and if at the end of the day, Nebraska's D-line can neutralize them, it gives the opportunity on the other side of the fence for Nebraska's O-line, which is so veteran and has these guys who have built for years for this season, to take a game like this and put it on their shoulders a little bit too. So, I mean, that's why this game's so beautiful, because we went through all these different angles and alleys you can go down about what's going to settle it. And, it'll probably come down to like one or two plays when it's all said and done, in a big moment where somebody steps up and just says that we're going to do it. We're going to have that moment. And, like Malcolm did in week 1. So we'll see if Nebraska can do it again.
That's our guy, Brian Christopherson, Husker247. BC, appreciate the time as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, B.
I'm
not even going to kid you. I don't know. I love Nebraska. I do.
Yeah.
But there's this part of me who's in training camp with Biaka Batuka, played with Jared Irons' brother from the Woodlands in Texas, the whole Braylon Edwards thing. I don't like him as much anymore, but this is why I was excited about Nebraska coming to the Big Ten. Just a classic helmet game. And they got to get this one.
They do got to get this one.
They got to get this one. I don't think there's any other way to look at it.
We've got Kevin Sjuts, 10-11 News in Lincoln, coming up next.
I think it changes a little bit. Obviously, you know, the quarterbacks that move out of the pocket are a little bit of a concern, but you know, we saw that in week 1. We made our adjustments, both schematically and just philosophically. So I think we're going to be a little bit more prepared for that element of the game in terms of, you know, how we call the game, how we approach that player, and obviously, you know, each player is different. You know, the quarterback for Cincinnati had really a history of being a runner, and you know, when you watch number 19, he is a pro-style drop-back quarterback with enough athleticism to get out of there, but he wants to be a pro quarterback that's going to sit in the pocket and throw the football and make reads. So similar players, but different in their own way.
So when you're looking for those young players, because this is another part of it that kind of fascinates me, how much of it are you looking at, hey, this is a guy that we think can be really good at this level versus, hey, this is a guy that we actually think can play maybe a couple higher levels, but if we have him for a couple of years, he can help us out a lot. Like there's a little bit of a balance there too, isn't there?
Yeah, you've got to get a balance right. And, we've got some guys that have played at the higher levels. It hasn't quite worked out for them, and they've come to USL 1 now where they're really thriving. You can't develop as a player if you're not playing.
Sure.
So if they're able to drop down to USL League 1, and dropping down is not really a thing I like to say, because when you look at the level and you watch the level of soccer from USL League 1 and USL Championship, and just take the Jägermeister Cup, for example, it's super competitive.
Yeah.
There's not much between the teams. So if we're able to be that team and that platform for a player to really go and express himself week in, week out, and gain confidence from playing games of football, that's super important.
At Centros Federal Credit Union, we have the tools and resources to help our members fulfill their financial goals, with a focus on building a stronger community for the next generation of leaders. Centros Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centros Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Don't forget, there is always new specials here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Come check it out in La Vista or Gretna and see what they've got cooking. We've got cooking a conversation with our friend Kevin Sjuts from 1011 News in Lincoln. What's going on, Kev?
Good morning. I'm sure you guys are enjoying all the conversation with an upgrade from Houston Christian this week.
Well, that's part of it, but I got to rewind for a second. Because I love talking to you about volleyball, and it seems like the longer you and I talk to each other, and you're obviously a lot more experienced than I am, but shoot, man, like how many parts of these deals can we cover with volleyball where we talk about records and attendance? You're in the midst of it from the high school level, the middle school level, so you've seen this evolution for a long time, but I'm guessing zero surprises that an indoor attendance record was set last night.
None. I mean, like, big deal. Another record. Woohoo. Like, no one's surprised. It's cool. It's fun. The challenge now is like, what's Wisconsin going to do? You know, like what venue are they going to try to play in, which can be in the range from 17,000 to 25,000. So it's not about like the following of the fan bases. It's more about like the venue size, because if you promote a volleyball match within a program that really loves volleyball, they're going to break the record. So Nebraska's got it back. You know, it was previously Wisconsin Marquette, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kelly Sheffield is trying to scour all throughout, you know, Wisconsin, Chicago, Minneapolis. Like, where can he go? How can he try to get over 17K?
Kevin, as you kind of watched the match last night, were you surprised? I was. Obviously, not a volleyball expert by any means. I was a little surprised by how much closer that match felt than I was expecting, and not just because of the records. You know, I felt like watching Nebraska throughout the season, then Creighton, felt like there was a pretty clear difference between those two squads. And we were talking to some people over the last couple of days. I was surprised there was a path to Creighton either. I mean, they could have won last night. They make it to a fifth set, you could win. Were you surprised about how close that was?
Yeah, I think you're right on it, Ravi, too. And I think part of our brains kind of assumed the gap in terms of the better team and the lesser of the teams. Though Creighton, I think, is really good.
Yeah, they are.
Because it's because the first set was 25-17. You know, that kind of sets the standard of, you know, where the teams are. And I think that we all kind of, after watching set one and how efficient Nebraska was, it seemed at that point in time that, you know, Nebraska is a level higher than Creighton. But, you know, that's where you got to give Coach Rosen's team a lot of credit for just being gutsy, for staying in the fight, and, you know, being opportunistic, because, you know, set four, that thing could have gone a different way. Mm-hmm. But I do feel throughout all five sets, I just doubted. I thought Nebraska was going to win the whole time. And I think so much of that is, one, having watched that team through 8 matches prior, but then also the way that they won set one, because when they were dialed in, they were feeding off the crowd, that you just got the sense that when it became winning time, Nebraska was going to win the match.
So, Kevin, it's interesting because we watch, and I'm glad, because I mean, it's got to be the best in all, cue all the Nebraska jokes for, you know, the losing record, and they got to be the best 5-win team in the country, or whatever we used to say. But for Creighton to be 5-5, it's incredible, right? You look at their schedule, and it has been an absolute gauntlet, and they are really good, in my opinion. And then I look at Nebraska's schedule, and I think, okay, 9-0, and am I superstitious? No. Do I think they can run the table where we're a long ways out? Like, when you're watching this team and how they have to win differently a lot of the times throughout these first 9 games, is that kind of like your saving grace, or do you not worry about chasing perfection en route to a long season? Like, almost like you need well, I hope they don't peak too early. Like, because you kind of know how it goes with this, right? Where we need some adversity, or we'd like a loss, or we talk ourselves into everything other than just believing in the team. Do you like the fact that they've had to win a few different ways and tap into a few different energy tanks, at least up to this point early in the season?
Yeah, Nebraska's been challenged with its schedule also. The thing that concerns me, now hopefully this statement kind of aligns with what you were saying there, DB, is they've mixed and matched this lineup, and who's starting at libero, and Campbell Flynn setting a match instead of Bergen Riley. You know, like, it's all fun and games here in September, and it's cool, and it's keeping the storylines fresh. And if you're a ticket holder, you're showing up to the match, and you don't even know who's going to be on the court.
I know, right?
And there's something that's a little bit like if I'm a ticket holder and Andy Jackson has the night off, I'm maybe a little bit disappointed. But I'm also kind of excited because you never know who you're going to see. You might see Campbell Flynn running a 5-1, and there's something kind of fresh and cool about that. So it's keeping everyone on their toes. And I remember asking Dani before the season even started, with her loaded roster with 17 players, which is the largest roster Nebraska has ever carried, how does she keep everybody happy? And how do you establish a rhythm within the team? And I'm still not completely convinced that there might be a moment in mid-October, early November, in which it is winning time for Nebraska, and the players on the court maybe just don't have that familiarity with each other, or maybe don't have that confidence in each other because they haven't spent as much time on the court together as if they would have under John Cook, which basically rolled out the same lineup every single night.
Yeah.
Maybe Dani's going to prove me and a lot of other people wrong. And she has shared time and time again that if you watch their practices, and this is true, they throw players everywhere. You have freshmen with seniors and juniors with sophomores and starting pin hitters with the third defensive specialist. It's very unique. So she's tried to create all that in practice, but still nothing replicates, you know, a Big Ten title on the line, set for 24-24. You need to score 2 points, and you got to trust the players on the court. I am still trying to make myself believe that it's all going to be okay, because it is just so unique. It's such a different experience from a reporter standpoint, from seeing this, and also from a fan standpoint, witnessing it and then experiencing it night in and night out.
Kevin, do you think the calculus that DBK is going through in her head with what you're talking about is kind of the chemistry and being able to trust each other versus each individual knowing they absolutely can come through when they need to?
That's beautiful. Because you know her so well.
Yeah, I just think Dani believes in what she believes in. And, you know, if there's somebody who can't assimilate to her style of coaching and the way that she's going to do this, then she's not going to play you. But she wants to play you. See, that's the thing. It's a very unique situation.
That's awesome.
You know, like...
Say that. Okay, that should be a T-shirt. Kevin, say that again, please.
I don't know specifically what I said, but the point is, if you can't do what Dani wants you to do in this environment, she will not play you. But she wants to play you because she's proven right now through 9 matches, she will play everybody unless you're redshirting. So there's 3 that haven't taken the court. And I think if you went back and you tracked everybody that Virginia Adriano has played with, I think it's everybody who's been on the court at some point this season outside of the people that play her spot. And that just is, it's so unique. It's so rare. But what I'm trying to get at here is that Dani wants to get everyone on the court. But if you're not okay with that, you can hang out on the sideline and cheer on your teammates.
See, I love, so that resonates with me, Kevin, because it keeps everybody engaged and jobs are made to be won and lost. So from the coach in me says, this is equal opportunity. It's up to you. And we're going to see that as we kind of transition into football. It's how Nebraska's bred competition up, you know, in the secondary, along the D line, along the offensive line. Hey, listen, it's yours for the taking, but there are some prerequisites you got to meet too along the way. In essence, you're saying, let's see how nicely we can coexist with those 2 philosophies, right? Like, it's yours if you want it. It's not if you don't. And I think as a player, you got to love the opportunity that you feel a little bit in control of the outcome.
Yeah, but you're not in control of, you know, the amount of playing time you're going to.
Hey, just throw me a carrot. Just tell me it's possible.
No, it is possible, and you're on it. I get what you're saying, DB, but here's the ultimate thing, though. You have to love the team in order for this to work. If you have a bunch of divas and prima donnas, this will not work. And, Dani didn't have a theme for the year at the very beginning. She said she was going to wait for it to just happen organically. And they've come up with something here this month, and that's that they're going to hang a banner and they're not worried about the All-American wall. And I think that's actually pretty awesome because that totally lines up with the way that she is coaching this team, specifically with how she's trying to get everybody on the court. So Bergen Riley, she's a two-time All-American. She's going to be an All-American again this year. Is she going to be a player of the year? Probably not. There was a match she did not even play, and if you look at the stats, it's tricky here now because if you look at Bergen Riley's stats on the season, you can't look at total assists.
Yeah.
Because there have been times she has been on the bench for an entire set. There's been a match where she has been on the bench. So she, I think total assists across college volleyball, she's 30th, 35th, something like that. You have to look at assists per set. I think that's the better gauge. It's even challenging, us in the media to look at the numbers a little bit differently because it's not as simple as totals. You have to look at averages.
Suits, Mr. Kevin, you're really good at kind of these storylines. If Nebraska wins on Saturday and you had to prep and get some B-roll, a little pre-roll, get some footage, and they win, where are you starting to grab? Where what are you shooting? What's the future headline if Nebraska wins on Saturday and you're ready to just roll with your television package? What video have you captured?
Oh, my goodness. So I'm going to go back to, one of my favorite shots of the Mike Riley era. And it was
this ought to be good.
It was the Brandon Riley catch, no catch versus Michigan State. All right. And that was when Brandon had the touchdown catch, that was a moment and the place went crazy. And remember how he was jumping all across the field? That's what I'm doing. I've got my track shoes on and I'm trying to find, whoever made the biggest play of the game, and I'm running with them because, as coy as the team played it yesterday, I think there's a burning desire within each of those players to kind of shed the stigma that they can't win a big game they can't beat a ranked opponent. They have lost 26 consecutive games against ranked opponents, and the last win was the Oregon game under Riley with Tommy Armstrong Jr. at quarterback. So I'm looking for whoever had the pivotal play and just hopefully seeing the emotion from that player just totally spill out. Now, granted, I hope it's somebody like Sierra Wright, who's got a lot of personality, can probably yuck it up for the camera. But I just think that the vibe, the environment, and then also just capturing, the student section and the fan. Maybe the bigger celebration is going to be in the stands because that air that has just existed over that program for the longest time about can't win a big game. Maybe it just, totally raises into the clouds and goes away. And then this team and the fan base can just have a little bit of freedom and ability to just enjoy football rather than feel pressure anytime a team comes to Lincoln with a number by their name.
All right. If you're going to roll with highlights, right, and it's in Nebraska wins, is it defensive line highlights? Is it offensive line highlights? Is it the secondary? Is it special teams? Is it the skill guys? If Nebraska wins on Saturday, who do you think gets the first highlights?
I think it's going to be Emmett Johnson because I think Dana Holgerson really wants to run the football. And I think that he's learned enough about the Big Ten that, you can't outsmart the Big Ten. You just got to out-Big Ten the Big Ten. And I think he's going to have a commitment to the run game, despite Michigan being pretty good defensively up front. But if Emmett has a big day between the tackles in space, I think it's going to bode good things for Nebraska. So I'm going to start with Emmett Johnson. I think he's having a great season so far. I think his body seems fresh, and he's stronger. He's lighter on his feet. That's where I'm going to start and end with Emmett.
That's Kevin Sjuts, 10-11 News in Lincoln. Kevin, appreciate the time. As always, enjoy the game this weekend.
All right. Thank you, boys.
Thanks, Kevin.
That's Kevin Sjuts from 10-11 News in
I've asked
Lincoln.
everybody but you. Do you want me to wait till Friday?
You can ask whenever you want.
I'm going to wait.
All right. I have a very clear feeling about how I think this game is going to go.
And you've been like this since Monday. So we'll sit on it.
I have a very clear feeling of how I think this game is going to go.
I'm sorting through it.
Every time I watch something more with Michigan or watch something more with Nebraska or go through the analytics or go through the whatever PFF grades just to try and uncover a little bit more information, the more I feel like I know how this game is going to go, and it hasn't changed.
I can see. No, obviously, again, somebody that studies Michigan a ton. I see these quick hitters. I see escapability. I see these good tight ends. I see duo. I see these pressure packages from Wink.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, I flip over to Nebraska and I think, all right, they run and stunt. And they want to be an active front. They've tackled pretty well from the second level. Who's the X factor in the secondary if they do, in fact, spy? Is it the offense? Can they win enough up front on the offensive line where they can run the ball? Because one thing I do agree with Kevin, I do think Coach Overson wants to run the ball. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know about the specifics.
What it looks like, yeah.
But I do think he does want to run the ball. And I'm also curious, can the quarterback that doesn't play the best still win this game? Is there a scenario in which the quarterback that doesn't play the best wins this game? Because that may dictate what unit you think is the future storyline.
Just play better than the other quarterback.
Can the quarterback that doesn't statistically have the best game come out on the winning side? In your scenarios, does that happen?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's going to dictate how you think.
I think there is a path to that. That is not a likely path, I think.
So this is like just at first blush. I don't think Underwood has to play as well as Dillon.
I agree.
In order for Michigan to win.
I think there is a path.
Is that fair?
I think there's a path to Michigan victory where Dillon outplays Underwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Me
true.
too.
I think that's true. I don't think that's a likely path. Like, I think Underwood's going to have to make some plays. But statistically, at the end of the day, it could look like, hey, Dillon did this, was better.
And Underwood still wins.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do not think that's a likely path, but it's on the table for sure.
I appreciate your objectivity.
That's on the table for sure.
What were you going to say over there, Liquid?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, sound like you're over there mumbling.
Let's take a quick break here before we get to our guy, Kyle Crooks, the voice of Nebraska football, with this other guy I talk to every day as well. If you want to be a voice, though, in the community, a great way to do that is Big Brothers Big Sisters. They're looking for 60 men in 60 days to become mentors. Currently, 70% of the youth on their wait list are boys, just waiting for a male mentor to connect with. It only takes 4 hours a month to make a big difference, whether it's just going out shooting hoops, going to a game, just hanging out somewhere. Little moments make the biggest difference. Go to bbbsmidlands.org to learn more and to sign up to be a mentor. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Centris Federal Credit Union, we understand that the journey of building your own business typically starts with modest beginnings. With a little help from our team of experts and small business loan offerings, you can take your vision and transform it into a more concrete reality. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Well, and if maybe that's not for you, there are other ways you can help.
Yes.
I know you've got a big event coming up here
We
on
do.
September 18th. It's called For Potential 2025. For spelled FORE. It's a little golf event, play on words.
Yes.
I like that. So if maybe you're like, hey, I would love to get involved. Maybe I don't have the time commitment. Maybe that's not my specific skill set. This is an opportunity for other people. Tell me a little bit about For Potential.
Yeah, so For Potential, we're really excited. It is an event that is being hosted at Topgolf. So it's an Thursday afternoon. Folks can come and it's just open play. And we will have lots of different kind of like targeted fun activities throughout the day, opportunities to collect or to get some prizes. And then we'll also have a silent auction going on for really, really incredible trips. We've got some really cool trips that we're so excited about.
Everybody in the Big Ten is going to play good defense. What stands out to me, that's why we're all here. That's why I'm here. It's why this coaching staff's here. It's why the majority of our players came here is for Big Ten football. The highest level of football. I'm excited about it. I dabbled in it last year for 3 games. It was awesome. So looking forward to 9 of them. So no disrespect to Michigan at all. I'm just excited about Big Ten play. So, with that becomes a lot of challenges. There's a lot of really good defense that's played in this league, and Michigan certainly set the standard for that for a long time. So never competed against them. That excites me. They got a great coaching staff. They got great players, great tradition. It's something that we understand as well. So just really excited for the opportunity.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
4 wide, trips right. We're out of the gun. Paralysis, snap, play action, fake. Backside pressure comes, ball stripped. It's picked up when they're at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Scoop and score. Touchdown, Huskers.
This may get the eye roll, but did we really just see the one-hand scoop of the big paw? I mean, Walter Payton-esque, carrying it like a loaf of bread. We'll take it, big fella.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by the voice that you just heard, Kyle Crooks of the Husker Radio Network. Kyle, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I didn't know I'd have to hear my highlights when I wake up bright and early, but good to see you guys. Always good to be on with you guys. How you guys doing?
Good. Casey, isn't it funny? I think most people used to make fun of me all the time because I don't leave voicemails. I don't like to talk on the phone. And I'm like, you know what? I hate my voice. Like, I don't really love it. And so it's funny to hear you say, I could take or leave my own highlights. Because I think the perception is that we love to hear ourselves talk when in essence, there probably isn't anything further from the truth.
Yeah, what's funny is so I listened back to all these games probably like 2 or 3 times, like coach's tape, right? So when I'm by myself, I'm okay with listening to it. But when there's other people in the room, or other people are listening. It's like, I could.
Wait, how does that go again?
Yeah, it's like I don't know if these 6 other people in this room need to be listening to my highlights right now, but it is what it is. So,
Kyle, I hate to break the illusion for you. There's a lot more than 6 people listening when you do.
Yeah, you know what? That's right. So I actually saw our numbers this week were actually the highest they've been all year. This past week against Houston Christian.
Yeah.
On the app alone, we had the most listeners we've had. Cincinnati, Akron. It was the biggest listenership we've had. Sometimes it's scary to think the amount of people that are out there listening, and you don't really tend to think about that when you're in the game.
I'm glad. So, it's funny, just because I love you so much. It's like, I love the fact now that you're kind of smiling and you're settling in and having fun, because I think the part that first, what am I looking for? Drew me to you was the fact that I think you're good natured, right? Like, the job is the job, but you kind of root for the people at the end of the day, especially if they're going to be your coworkers. So I just like the fact that, you got to host the Hall of Fame event, which I think had to be crazy. Like, how about that for a handful of months in, you get to MC the Hall of Fame banquet and get all the nostalgia. But just to see you smile, man, it makes me feel good.
Yeah. Let's be honest, the last month or so has not been easy. It's not an easy transition to step into a legend's seat, literally sitting in Greg Sharp's seat in his booth. So it's been really, at times been tough, and the adjustment's been tough. And you knew it from sitting in the booth with me in Kansas City and in the Cincinnati game, and kind of seeing how tense and things can be, right? And it didn't help, guys, that we were, and Damon, we were 9 stories up. We were literally in the clouds. We were getting off planes, calling that game against Cincinnati. So that was, but and doing the Hall of Fame banquet, Nebraska Football Hall of Fame, and standing up in front of a room of legends, literal Nebraska football legends. And there's been a lot of moments where I say to myself, how did I get here? I said it to Troy Dannon, I think at one of the practices recently, probably it was during fall camp. I was just sort of watching, surveying, and looking at the logo on the helmet, and I said, Troy, I still can't really believe that I'm here. I don't know if that sounds good saying that to the AD. It's like, man, this is incredible. And I think I'll have one of those pinch me moments this Saturday.
He's cooler than a fan, though. You got to admit, for an athletic director, and you've been around. Hey, listen, I get where you come from, but man, TD's pretty cool, isn't he? How about whether he's doing recruiting visits or he's thinking outside the box about revenue streams, or he's hobnobbing at the fight with Coach Rule and the wives get together. Dan and Troy, he's a pretty forward-thinking guy, man. You think you get the sense we're in pretty good hands with leadership.
Yeah, and he's in lockstep with Coach Rule. I think it's unique, and I'm sure all the coaches as well, but specifically in what I'm around the most, I can just see how Matt and Troy interact. And I remember meeting in his office for my interview, and I could just see how competitive of a guy he is. He wants to win, and for this position, he wants the best possible person in this position. I remember, him texting me after the Akron game and saying, happy home opener after we just won 68 with 7 exclamation points. He's a competitor. He's the perfect guy to have. And I know I'm biased, right? He's the perfect guy to have in this position at this point in time in college athletics, with revenue sharing and NIL. And he just has such a high expectations for his coaches, but the expectations are just as high on himself and what he wants done for this program. But you're right. He's an awesome guy. He's easy to talk to. And sometimes you don't necessarily get that from that position.
Kyle, I'm kind of curious what you've thought about the growth of this team through the first 3 weeks? Because you haven't had as much time to be around sort of some of these guys and be waiting for certain guys to pop, or have, seen their names on recruit lists for however many years before they actually end up in Lincoln or whatever. So this is, I feel like you have a little bit maybe fresher perspective and aren't burdened by some of the pre-existing knowledge about some of these guys where, some like me and DB will be like, well, I think this guy's really good, but we haven't seen it yet. How have you seen the growth, and where have you seen the most growth from Cincinnati through Houston Christian?
What's funny is, so I'm undefeated in 1-score games, right? I'm 1-0. I've seen nothing but touchdowns here. We have our drive summary, which is sponsored. I think I've read that 750 times. I say to myself, like, I'm probably not going to have to read this as much once we head into Big Ten play, but this is like, wow, we've read this every single time coming out of break. I think biggest areas in which, I've seen this team take a massive jump. I think offensive line for me is something where I thought would be pretty good, and I think is, for the most part, is kind of rung true. I think when they settle into, we still seen sort of that rotation a little bit at left tackle. I think we'll see that settle in. For me, Emmett Johnson, I think we don't talk about him enough, right, guys? I mean, he probably should have had his third consecutive 100-yard game this past week if he didn't sit out the entire second half. And, when I studied tape last year, I saw him sort of that progression, right, of, not having lived it last year, but seeing how much, and going back and watching all the games, how much he improved over the last 3 or 4 games of the year. And, he's the real deal. And I've seen the progression too, just overall in that quarterback room of Dylan as a leader, as a true freshman quarterback, where, he's heading into now, guys, his 18th start. I mean, he's a veteran, right? Like, he's only a true sophomore, but to me, he's a veteran of the game. And I've seen him just take a massive leap as a leader, as a person, since when I first met him. And the way he's taken TJ Lateef under his wing, and to have your best player as your strongest leader, as your loudest voice, to me, that is just a difference maker. I think offensively, this team is, I think, better than maybe I thought coming in certain respects. I think Dane Keys made a massive, I don't know if you guys saw the video that they posted last night, but the way Dane Keys sort of took over the locker room, right? And said that, hey, that last drive before the first half, it's not good enough. We're not playing to our standard, this, that, and the other. And to have a voice like that in Dane Key, who's played, a handful of years in the SEC, is a difference maker. I just think from a skill position spot, from the quarterback spot, leadership spot, they've taken a lot of jumps.
Casey, it's interesting. A couple of my buddies that I trust, my confidants, I tell them, they asked me about you, and I said, it's interesting. I've never really worked with a play-by-play guy that loves, like, you're into the game, personality traits, schemes, it's almost like my job. And it's fun because we can talk, we can bounce football off each other. And the cool thing is like, the team is unique, right? Like, Ben has his thing, and you've never really worked with a guy that does what Ben does, or somebody that's creative and gets down on the mic like Jess does with the sideline stuff. What's that blend been like was it different, or is it about what you thought when you would tell me, hey, I know I'm getting involved with a team, I just want to kind of get in where I fit in? Because you have your own unique attributes, which are pretty cool. And then there's this Ben, Jess, Damon dynamic too, that you kind of still lead. So, like, what's that been like for you?
Yeah, I think it's made my job a lot easier than what I'm used to it being, right? Like, I sort of thought, like, okay, I'm stepping into this well-oiled machine. And it turns out, like, oh yeah, this is a well-oiled machine. Ben sitting to my right, and the way he knows this broadcast like the back of his hand, and he's
isn't he great? Like,
amazing. And now he finally knows that. So at home, to bring people behind the curtain. He can actually talk into my ear without going over the air. He didn't know that until we finished the Houston.
So that's new.
Game.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So we have a brand new booth. Greg Sharp Radio booth is, there's a lot of new bells and whistles. So it's going to make that process a little bit easier. And, I think the timing between me and you, Damon, has grown. And it's just a lot easier when I can look to my left and I know that you're seeing the game. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it here to embarrass you, but I truly believe like you're like a kind of like a football savant, like a football genius, and you see the game a lot different than anybody I've ever been around, and that helps. So like when I'm following the ball and I'm locked in through my binoculars, I know Damon's going to see the 5 or 6 things off the ball that I didn't, and then are going to actually provide context to what's going on. And then when I can go down to the sideline and have Jess, and I mean, she's the best reporter there is. Like she
is a human cheat code.
She knows exactly where to go, when to go, what to look at, what mannerism, what means what in terms of what the mannerisms of coaches. And like, I'll talk about Coach Eckler, and then she's already 3 steps ahead of like, all right, Kyle, send it down to me, because she knew that after John Hull kicked the ball out of bounds to go right to Coach Eckler and see what he looks like and his interactions. And it's like, I know I'm surrounded by people that just know their job, do it at an elite level. And that makes me pretty comfortable in what I do, because, there's a lot going on for me on a game day, but I know I have so much stuff covered around me that makes my job a lot easier.
Okay. See, it's pretty cool as we get ready for, it's like every time you're getting ready to do something, you're checking it off the list. We get the classic helmet game. You get a chance to be a part of a broadcast in which it could be for the first time since when, right? At some point, you're going to be like, okay, when do I get all these off the checklist so I can just do me? Like, there's got to be some joy in you that's looking forward to that too, right? Because even I'm like, I want to say to myself, now, wasn't Colorado ranked, or is that we still have that on the to-do? Like, I'm going through all these things in my head. I'm like, good. But it's cool that we get to do it together. But at some point, you're going to rejoice that all this will be behind us at some point, right?
I sent a picture of one of my friends from Florida at the game notes that it says Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and then Kyle Crooks and Damon Benning and Jessica Cootie underneath. To me, that will never, like, something that's forever. It's like, how in the heck am I calling the same game as Brad Nessler? But yeah, there's a lot of those pinch me moments. And I think when I look down on the field and I see what this crowd's going to be like, and I see, like you said, the traditional helmet game, right? The winged helmet of Michigan, and looking down on the field and seeing this, I mean, this massive just sea of red is just going to be, like you said, it's another thing to check off the list, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more here in the future. But you're right. I mean, this is and to get to the football side of it. I mean, you guys know this is a pivot point in the season. This is the biggest moment for Coach Rule in his short tenure here. I mean, Colorado was a big deal, but wasn't a conference game. I mean, if you want to look at this team as you want to go to the ceiling of 9, maybe 10 wins, like these are the games that you have to win, especially against a freshman quarterback on your home field. You have the home crowd behind you. Dylan's playing at the level he is. And the one thing that when people ask me what I think, I don't necessarily know what to think, because the last 2 games have been Akron. They've been Houston Christian. I asked you on the air, Damon, like, how much of this transfers of the second and third game, how much of that transfers to a Michigan? I don't necessarily, I think from inside the building it does, from a confidence standpoint. And it seems like they're playing the nameless, faceless opponent card a lot.
Yeah.
If you notice, and Jess kind of pointed this out to me yesterday, in their press conferences, they haven't said the word Michigan a whole lot. It's been Big Ten play. It's been Big Ten football. So every single time they've had the opportunity to introduce the word Michigan, it's always gone back to, well, this is Big Ten play. We're starting Big Ten play. So I think that's sort of transferred over in terms of, okay, the logo's a lot bigger. The players are a lot better. but this is just still another obstacle in the way of Nebraska football. So I don't necessarily know if I were to predict the game. I don't necessarily know what to expect. I just, I would expect Dylan's going to play at a high level. Emmett's going to play at a high level. They're much better on the offensive line. In the trenches, Damon, you'd be probably better suited to answer this question from, a defensive line standpoint. How do they stand up here in the Big Ten? I think from some on the outside, maybe that's somewhat of a concern. So a lot of things are set for Nebraska to make that leap, beat an AP ranked team, but we'll see what happens.
Kyle, I don't want to ask a leading question here, so I'm going to try and phrase this as carefully as possible. You said that this Michigan team is a lot better, certainly than Houston Christian and Akron. I am curious how much better you think they are than Cincinnati, having watched both teams, and we have a little bit more data on Cincinnati now than we did when Nebraska played them. But I want you to focus on a couple guys as you answer this question. Do you think there's anybody on Michigan's defensive line better than Dante? At this point in their career, I think Underwood is better than Sorsby.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think there's anybody on Michigan's defensive line that's as good as Dante Corleone. I don't think Underwood is as good as Sorsby. Do I think Underwood's ability to make plays, do I think he unlocked a little bit of something against Central Michigan? Maybe. And it seems like, Bip Poggi said this week that, they're going to sort of give him the green light to do what he wants and sort of be that athlete. Now, John Butler came out, yesterday and said, look, they're not running a lot of design stuff in terms of zone reads and things like that for Bryce Underwood. And I have to go back and watch a little bit more of the tape of Michigan when I do my memorization and things like that for the game. But I would suppose that we'll see a little bit more of that in terms of design run game for Bryce Underwood. When I stack these rosters together, when I look at Nebraska and Michigan, I think Nebraska's got better wide receivers at the skill position spot. Like, to me, Michigan on the outside in the wide receiving room doesn't necessarily scare me. What scares me is Justice Haynes. And, can Nebraska hold Michigan to a respectable yards per carry? Like, to me, it looks like, they're gonna try and ram it down Nebraska's throat. And I think Nebraska is going to stack the box and you guys would know better and force to kind of beat them over the top with some of their playmakers on the outside and force Bryce Underwood to make some really big throws. Everything's in there. From the tangibles, Bryce Underwood has everything. Is he better at this current moment than a veteran quarterback and Brendan Sorsby? Absolutely not. But I think the overall collection of talent matters here from an offensive line perspective, although Michigan's dealt with some injuries. And from that running back room, I think Haynes is, he's the real deal, and they're going to force feed him.
Kyle, let me ask you something. We're kind of, one of the things I love, if you'll just let me lament about how the sausage is made, is probably more of a football guy than I've ever worked with, right? When it comes to player skill sets and you loving to be at practice and stuff like that. Like, that's different, right? We had the conversation during your interview that you would draw plays during the Colts and Steelers game, and I was like, shoot, man, I'm hooked. Like, this guy's on the dry erase board. Did you allow yourself, do you allow yourself at your job to think, well, this team's pretty good, this team's not very good? Like, do you assess talent real time when you're going through the protocol and the mechanics of kind of being the voice? Because it seems like that duality is one of the things that I think makes you super interesting and fun to work with. Is like, there's kind of this balance between you two where I'm like, well, sometimes I feel like he could just kind of do my job.
No, I could tell you that I could not do your job, but I had, there's moments during the game where, I could say like, oh, Akron's, boy, that's they might have a tough year. Or you're watching some of the tape, you're like the quarterback play is like, oof, but the thing is that I don't try to dive too much into the weeds, because I feel like for me, it could be if I'm looking at tape and I'm seeing, the different, it's interesting to, when you watch Michigan and I'll watch a lot more today, and to say like, okay, Wink Martindale, I remember him with the Giants and following the Giants closely growing up in New Jersey. And like, I always knew he was an exotic blitz package guy. He's going to set in the house. He's going to disguise things. So, it's good to watch that stuff on tape, but I know when Saturday comes, like, okay, Damon's going to have me here, here, and here. So let me focus. The biggest reason I watch film nowadays, guys, is probably to do. So if you see me on a Wednesday or a Thursday, those are my big like film days. It's to memorize everything. So I'll do, if I'm sitting in my office or in my apartment, I'll do mental play-by-play. So I'll just say, oh, Underwood takes the snap, and then I'm doing all my memorization. So that's sort of how I spend my week. Is there's a little bit of the X's and O's, but most of it is like looking at through a play-by-play brain of how I would call this play if there's, a different run action or all these motions pre-snap of, okay, how am I going to call this and not have it too rushed and things like that. So that's sort of the way I look at it.
That's super interesting. I
told you smart.
As you get into your film, as you're talking about and everything this week, is there anything that you've thought about with this game yet that you kind of were you almost surprised yourself that you're like, oh, is this actually what I'm seeing? Or like you almost have to check and see if you're a little crazy. And like, have you had that moment yet? Because I've had one, and I'm afraid to say it out loud.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead and say it. Let me see.
Yeah, go ahead, man. We're in the tree of trust.
I think Dylan's gonna dice him up.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think you can bring that much pressure for a guy that processes the way Dylan does and not get killed.
Although there is the phenomenon, Casey, as you know, the difference between Dylan throwing against zone, throwing against man-to-man coverage. It is vastly different. You still feel good?
Yeah. I don't think you can. First of all, I think that is way more of a last year thing than a this year thing. Secondly, I don't think you can give him opportunity. Like, I don't think you can show him what you're going to do and bring pressure that consistently with extra guys and not leave guys back to try and confuse him on the back end. Like, I think he processes at too high of a level, and I think he knows what's happening real time too well to get away with it. I think they're going to have to back out of those pressure things, and I don't think Martindale wants to do that.
Yeah, what's interesting is I know Coach Rule had said this on Sunday that he had sent Dylan had sent him a picture about his preparation had already begun. Like he was already writing notes and already watching Michigan tape. And that's something that, Damon, you always mention on the broadcast all the time is the check with me's at the line of scrimmage. Like he has the ultimate liberty in this offense with Dana. And I think the one of the biggest things for me too is Dana Holgorsen. Okay, so that chess match of a veteran play caller on one side and a veteran play caller on the other. To me, that is the ultimate chess match of this game. And how fun is that? Dana Holgorsen against Wink Martindale. But I think you're dead on, Ravi, is when you look at it, is that chess match at the line of scrimmage, of how much of the audible out of things and how much does Dylan get this team into that right play, that right situation at the line of scrimmage is going to be the absolute difference maker in this game. This is one of those games that we know it's probably going to come down to one score, and the old, the old cliche, it's probably going to come down to, time of possession and field position. That was the phrase I was looking for. Can you win field position? Can you win time of possession? Can you take the air out of the ball? What kind of game does Emmett? I'm interested to see, like, okay, how many touches does Emmett Johnson get?
I was shocked to see the total's only 46. I think possessions may be limited.
I think Emmett gets more reception, not more reception,
right?
carries, but.
If I were to tell you guys, what's the over-under for a Quentin Ives carry number in this game? Like, I don't necessarily.
So Makai's out of the doghouse, so I'll say 10
for Quentin.
Yeah, 9.5.
How about overall for a running back not named Emmett Johnson? What's that carry number?
What would we guess snaps to be? 65 in a game like this?
Yeah.
Good. See, I know what you're doing.
Can I go touches instead of carries? Because I don't.
65 plays. Nebraska's going to run the ball 35 times. Emmett's going to get God darn you, Casey.
Going to get just about all of them. To me, I don't know what that.
I'm kind of with you from a trust standpoint. I'm kind of with you.
Yeah,
I would say maybe overall everybody else maybe around 8.5, 9.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm just going to be fascinated to see what that split looks like at the end of the game. How much like a Cincinnati game, right, where Emmett had 25 carries, 32 touches. I don't know if they're going to have that many opportunities in terms of as many snaps as they did in the Cincinnati game. But is it a similar number?
Doesn't it look like KC? Like he takes some good shots though, and I'm so glad. I don't know if Coach Rule listens to our broadcast. He gets pissed about the tackling too, and you get me off air, and you get all my mannerisms and how pissed I get. Like I hate how these DBs are like coming in low and hitting. Like there is some wear and tear, and Michigan is a good tackling team. You may have to spell Emmett a little more than you're used to if he's taking some of these low-level kind of submarine shots.
Yeah, I know that's something that grinds your gears because we saw it a lot in Cincinnati. We saw a lot of it last week against Houston Christian. There was one.
Akron was super bad at it. It's annoying.
There was one Quentin Ives had. I think the last game where was one that could have been really ugly.
You even said he was fortunate to get his leg, like that his plant leg didn't stick, right? That was just a bad tackle.
And, we saw some one-arm tackles, and we saw the missed tackle that led to the Houston Christian, weaving touchdown around the left side. So I think tackling's got to be a little better this week. Let me say this, guys, in terms of I think an X factor in this game for me is going to be Isaiah Hunter. I think, to me, this is a game, Isaiah Hunter, where because we know Dana wants to get the ball out quick and kind of that quick screen game, that quick tunnel screen game. I think Isaiah Hunter is going to play huge. If Michigan is sort of stacking the box to stop Emmett, I could see Isaiah Hunter playing a huge role in this game. I think Dane Key is what he is. I think there's a certain expectation of what Dane Key is going to be, an expectation of what Ja'Cory Barney is going to be. I think this is a game where Isaiah Hunter can really separate himself. I mean, he had a big first couple games. He was very good against Cincinnati, good against Akron. I think this is a game where Isaiah Hunter, where he's just Dana said it, everybody said it around the program. He's just, when he puts the pads on, he's a different player as opposed to when you see him in the spring or whatever. He's just a different guy on game day. I think that he's somebody who can have a couple of explosive plays. Perhaps, ink him in to maybe get into the end zone this week. To me, I feel like he's an X factor in a game like this.
Is that any insight into our picks to click? Because you always go first. And
I actually picked early, and I don't think I picked Isaiah Hunter. This is like a last 24-hour revelation. I don't necessarily know.
I've got one that I'm going to send Cass, and I think you may be floored. Did Jess pick hers yet?
So I think we picked it on Sunday. I honestly don't know who I picked. I think Jess picked like Emmett Johnson, which should be against the rules. Like you can't pick Dylan Raiola or Emmett Johnson. Like pick somebody else.
I always like to try to be different. I took McCullough last week, and if he'd have got that sack, I think I had a good chance at it. You know who I might take this week, Casey?
Who's that?
I might take Harburg. This has tight end game for me written all over it. I might take Heinrich.
I think we're thinking on the same page. I don't get a pick, but
you like Luke?
No, hybrid. I think there might be an Isaiah Mosey thing here.
Ooh.
It's interesting.
You like him, don't you, Casey?
I do, and it seems like they've sort of moved him around a little bit now. I think they're playing him a lot more out of the slot. Like when you go and there's certain things you don't notice when you're calling the game because you're so focused on where the ball is and the location of the ball, and there's so many things around you that you don't see, and that's why I rely heavily on you and Jess and Ben. But it seems like they're, especially with the injury to Bonner, playing him a lot more out of the slot. I think he could play a huge factor in the screen game and the quick passing game. And man, we've seen what kind of athlete he is on punt return. Like everything they've said about him and what he is, and he's slippery as can be, man. When you get him in the open field, I remember that, the Akron game, he's still running. I mean, they could not bring, I mean, he's just such a unique athlete that it's hard to keep him off the field. If you're not going to have him in the backfield, to have a weapon like that in the slot where he's an incredible pass catcher, he's got elite speed, elite slippery ability. You're right, man. I think that's a great pick for somebody to have a big game.
Oh, don't give him any credit. We barely get along. We barely get along, KC.
I know.
Oh, don't gas him up. It's a long.
Robbie's dead on, man. I think Mosey's a player. We all know he's a player, but in this game specifically, and where you can line him up, and because they have him in the split backs in the backfield and in the slot and move him around a lot of different ways, like that can present a matchup problem for a Michigan defense. You get him up against a linebacker or a wrong DB, and he can make it work.
That's Kyle Crooks, who I like more and more day by day.
I know.
Voice of Nebraska football. Kyle, we appreciate the time. Enjoy the game.
Hey, full disclosure, KC, man, we're going to have to run, not walk. There's going to be a lot of my former players congregating outside our studio, man. I wish you the best.
So, Damon, I'm going to interview you on Friday for this 95 deal. I haven't texted you yet.
Oh,
but
great. hey, thanks, buddy.
I know how much you love the camera, how much you love pictures, Robbie.
Yeah.
If you knew a human being who hated a camera more than Damon, he gets literally squeamish when anybody wants to take a picture of him. Well, I got news for you, Damon. There's gonna be a lot of pictures taken this weekend when it comes to the reunion and everything. So you're just gonna have to deal with it.
We've been trying to get new headshots of this guy for Hurrdat for like a year and a half. And then he complains about the pictures that we do have. And I was like, there's an easy fix there, bud.
Yeah. Sit still. Sit still and let them go click on the camera. So
KC, you're supposed to be my guy.
I am your guy. I'm just saying pictures are your friend. You got a nice smile, DB.
How about Sam and Alex saying we've never had a guy go 0 for 30 and getting a good picture? Like, we couldn't get one viable picture? No. I don't know what it is, Casey. I'll do better, I promise. No, I don't promise. I'll do better. I'll try.
Maybe.
All I know is I'm pumped up for Saturday. I look forward to seeing you guys there, and let's do this thing.
You got it, Casey. Good to talk.
We'll talk again soon, Kyle. Appreciate it.
See ya.
I really that's really funny. I really
low key just piled on at the end.
Right in there.
At least I'm consistent.
Yeah, it's true. At least it's not like you don't want to take pictures for a Hurrdat. You just don't want to take pictures.
No
pictures.
Which is why I was super mad. Like I think when I called Verz an idiot yesterday on Twitter, I think people thought it was a bit. No, like I'm dead. I hate that.
I know.
I don't know what it is. I just insecure. Like if I hadn't been through so many collisions and I felt better about. I mean, it's definitely the way I looked. I got a lazy eye. Like I got lots wrong.
It's definitely one of those things that you notice those things about yourself and nobody else does.
That's not true.
No, it really is.
It's not true.
Like I wouldn't know any of those things unless you had told me.
No,
and I look at
not true.
I look at you every day.
That's not true.
It really is.
He just low key bus rolled me too.
He did a little bit. I think
I am a little obstinate when it comes to pictures.
The reason I picked Mosey is I think this is your pass game is your run game.
I hope you're wrong. I would love for, and I'm taking the deep dive because offense goes first today at Westside, and defense is second. We don't have defensive individual, which changes my framework in terms of how I view Wednesday nights. So and tomorrow is our speed through, and I'll watch a ton of Michigan defensively. Because I think I know what I'm getting offensively. I feel really good about, but I got to watch them a little more defensively because Wink is pretty exotic with some of these pressure packages. I think it boils down to, I know Coach Holgerson's going to want to run the ball. I think it's intermediate passing game. I think can Dylan play catch from the tackle box to about 15 yards? Can he play catch? because they're not going to give you a ton outside the numbers unless you're winning 1v1. And he hasn't proven that he wants to take a lot of chances there.
Yeah.
He's got to be able to play catch in the interior. And I don't think Nebraska can win this game unless Dylan plays better than Underwood. Underwood can win without outplaying Dylan. So that matters to me.
I would almost say Michigan is going to have to win without Underwood outplaying Dylan because I'm not sure that's on the table today. Yeah, I'm not sure. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Tony Veland, former Husker and 1995 national champion. He'll be part of the festivities, I believe, right, on Saturday?
Absolutely.
And so we'll talk to him about all of that. And as well, there you go. It's a nice picture. You got the rubber duck. I just like how they had to get you a toy to get you a picture taken at the end.
Look at my.
What are you doing? Why are you doing that? What are you doing? If you stood there like a normal person, show the people.
No. Wait, do you think they can see it?
Hot Danger says I was diagnosed.
Can they see that?
With exotic? Yeah, I can see it.
That's how I take pictures.
That's
Cassidy's fault.
Hot Danger says I was diagnosed with exotic wink at my last eye appointment.
Dude, is Brian just not insufferable?
Which one?
Like, why does he come in the chat to just be a Richard head?
I don't know. We just do that sometimes.
Kyle equals, I have to act like a Nebraska fan because they paid me to. You're so insightful, Brian. Like, I don't know what we would do without you.
Speaking of actually insightful, we got Dank Coyote back in the chat.
Oh, there he is, Portland's finest. Fresh off a couple of bowls.
National narrative is saying Raiola is a dink and dunk quarterback now. I think a couple deep shots are coming. We took what Cincinnati gave us. He played half the game in the other two.
He's going to have to win. Dylan's going to have to win against man-to-man.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's going to get quite a bit of it from the Wolverines.
I agree, and I think that's why Isaiah Hunter's a good call.
I like that, too. He's such a – boy, he's a surly son of a gun.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some interesting stuff on Saturday. Let's take a quick break, but before we do, let me tell you real quick about our friends over at Centris Federal Credit Union. People are always trying to save money, and whether it's for a necessity or an emergency fund or just a vacation, Centris can help you out. Whether it's their money markets, their certificates, their Centris Roundup program, they've got lots of different tools to help you save now so you can journey towards a worry-free tomorrow. Learn more and open an account today at centrisfcu.org. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. We will be back with Tony Veland coming up next.
Centris Federal Credit Union, we understand that the journey of building your own business typically starts with modest beginnings. With a little help from our team of experts and small business loan offerings, you can take your vision and transform it into a more concrete reality. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Well, and if maybe that's not for you, there are other ways you can help.
Yes.
You've got, I know you've got a big event coming up here on September 18th. It's called For Potential 2025. For spelled FORE. It's a little golf event, play on words.
Yes.
I like that. So if maybe you're like, hey, I would love to get involved. Maybe I don't have the time commitment. Maybe that's
Sure.
not my specific skill set. This is an opportunity for other people. Tell me a little bit about For Potential.
Yeah, so For Potential, we're really excited. It is an event that is being hosted at Topgolf. So it's an Thursday afternoon. Folks can come and it's just open play. And we will have lots of different kind of like targeted fun activities throughout the day, opportunities to collect or to get some prizes. And then we'll also have a silent auction going on for really, really incredible trips. We've got some really cool trips that we're so excited about.
Everybody in the Big Ten is going to play good defense. What stands out to me, that's why we're all here. It's why I'm here. It's why this coaching staff's here. It's why the majority of our players came here is for Big Ten football, the highest level of football. I'm excited about it. I dabbled in it last year for 3 games. It was awesome. So looking forward to 9 of them. So no disrespect to Michigan at all. I'm just excited about Big Ten play. So, with that becomes a lot of challenges. There's a lot of really good defense that's played in this league, and Michigan certainly set the standard for that for a long time. So I've never competed against them. That excites me. They got a great coaching staff. They got great players, great tradition. It's something that we understand as well. So just really excited for the opportunity.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are efforting our guy Tony Veland here, but in the meantime,
they're going back and forth. So I know
he's getting logged in.
In the meantime, though, it's a reminder that UNO's 6th annual Giving Day is coming up. Wear Black, Give Back. 24 hours of giving kicks off on October 8th. That's a lot closer than you think. It starts at noon and goes through noon on the 9th as well. They raised almost $1 million last year, and their goal is 6,500 individual gifts this year. You can support scholarships, colleges, Maverick Athletics, and more. Mark your calendars for Wear Black, Give Back October 8th through the 9th. And with every gift totaling $75 or more, you will receive a free UNO belt bag. Don't forget, you can go to unomaha.edu to give back and get yourself involved in a cause I know is very near and dear to DB's heart.
Remember the chance with the milk jug and all that?
We're still,
and I'm back in black. Where is my man?
We're still allowed to call him UNO, right?
The one that
I
affectionately dubbed him in my phone. He is Capone.
Like Al?
Like Al. He is so cool, and I've always thought Tone Capone. I don't know why. My man with the perfect teeth. There he is. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Good to hear from you. It's been a minute, man. What you been up to?
Come on, man. You know me. So full disclosure, Tony's the guy that will invite me to things. And he'll say, hey, I know you're not going to come out. It's my birthday, DB. But I want to invite you anyway. Tony, yeah. I just like your stick-to-itness because you know I'm a total clown. And I'm not going to hold up my end of it. And you love me anyway. So that's why I like you.
Gotta know my people, man. Gotta know my people.
and you've been in both my weddings, so you're a glutton for punishment.
That is true. That is true.
You looking forward to this, big guy? This isn't really your style either, man. You play it close to the vest, but you love Nebraska, man. So how are you playing the whole aura and celebration versus, man, you pretty cool customer?
Listen, I'm happy about it. You know, we get a chance to bring our guys back together and celebrate. You know, obviously something big that we did last year. 30 years ago, and I'm also trying to have the playoff of. You know, last year we had the reunion game versus Colorado, which is a big game. The team stepped up and performed the way they were supposed to. So I'm hoping the same thing happens this year. So I'm excited to see my guys and excited to see some good football.
Tony, as you, you were here last year for it as well, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
How was the atmosphere with it being such a big game, biggest game on Nebraska's schedule, kind of in the non-conference, certainly in the early part of the season? Like, it kind of seemed like your guys' presence helped the team out a little bit. Like, is that how it felt?
That is how it felt. I mean, it was electric. The team stepped up the way they were supposed to. I mean, between, you know, the fans and the team play and just the excitement around the reunion, I'm expecting more of the same. I mean, we've started out this year the way we're supposed to, right? I mean, things are looking well for us. We got a close win, you know, at the beginning of the season. Then we played two teams who were lesser teams the way we're supposed to. Now we got this reunion game, and it's the welcome to the Big Ten, and it's Michigan. Like, there's no better setting, right? You know, so if we get this thing going the right way, this could mean, you know, quite a bit for the future of the season.
I always like talking to you and being around you because you kind of ooze intensity even without trying, right? It's kind of no nonsense. And you were part of a stretch where, and I told this story, right? I mean, we were trying to learn how to win in '94, and we went in down at the half to Wyoming, and it was not good, right? Like, you're part of that chalk talk like we were, and on offense. And I felt like last week was kind of a stepping stone in emotional maturity, right? You did something to an opponent you were supposed to do,
right,
and it's part of the maturation process. We're pretty dismissive, though, as a fan base. Do you, former captain, you know, NFL vet, national champ, do you feel like there's value in doing what you did last week, what you're supposed to, in a game preceding Michigan that has value? Is there part of the growth hurdle that matters from last week to this week, given your experience?
Yeah, so I think it all matters. I mean, I think when you consider, you know, what has happened, let's say over probably the last, you know, 6 or 7 years, you know, in the past we played a lesser team. We weren't guaranteed to play that lesser team the way we're supposed to, right? I mean, we just in those years we didn't show up the way we're supposed to. And this year, even though you've got younger guys that are playing, they're still playing the way they're supposed to. I mean, that's the key. Like, we got to have our consistent play, right? We got to be able to count on certain things that happen regardless of who we're going to play. And when we can do that, knowing that we're going into a big match, I mean, I think there's a lot of power in that. So I'm excited. You know, I think we got a chance to do something special here this year. And with this particular game, especially Michigan, especially with, you know, their highly touted quarterback, our highly touted quarterback. I mean, there's a big challenge, you know, that we have to take on. And I think we can make this happen.
Tony, you brought up something interesting there with a lot of young guys. I think we sort of forget this is still a really young football team.
Yeah.
They're older in spots, right? Secondary is a little bit older, offensive line a little bit older. But overall, this is a very young team. A ton of young guys have played. I think Coach Rule said still the youngest team in the Big Ten. How much value do you put in the fact that despite the young age and general lack of experience, that they have really been able to look exactly how they're supposed to look so far this year?
Well, I think that says a lot about what Coach Rule, the kind of culture that he's creating. You know, you talked about, you know, that Akron game where, you know, they're playing and they're, you know, winning at halftime, but he goes in and he's not happy with this particular play, lights into him, and then all of a sudden they come out and play better. Like, there's an expectation for, you know, what Nebraska football is supposed to be. And, you know, when you tell, even when they're younger, you let them know this is the kind of the standard, and they start to live up to that. I think that sets us up for a great future. I mean, like right now, again, even though we've got younger guys, let's say we end the season, 10-2, 9-3, whatever the case may be. These younger guys are only going to get better, right? And that expectation, they're going to be able to uphold that for the next 2 years. So, we're setting ourselves up to be really, really good over the next couple of years. So I'm happy with the direction of the program, and I'm hoping that continues to improve.
It's interesting. You have a unique perspective. You get guys like myself, D. Jones. We're like, hey, TV, Warren Academy, can you help our kids out? Can you help get some workouts with Caleb? Can you help Dani?
Yeah.
You get a unique perspective of watching young local guys seek some input that you get to help train. Do you have a hard time separating, hey, these guys, they need my tutelage versus, hey, they can help us win in the future because I'm a Nebraska alum? Or are you like, I'm going to do what I can in the moment. I don't know how this is going to correlate to Nebraska getting W's, but for right now, I'm going to stay in the moment. Or do you see it when you're training all of these young guys, knowing that they aspire to do and have the opportunity to do what they have an opportunity to do on Saturday?
When it comes down to it, man, myself and a lot of other coaches within Warren Academy were blessed with, some great experience. And we just want to get back to the next generation right now. Now, obviously, I'm Nebraska through and through. So I would love for, all of our ballers to be able to end up in Nebraska. But I hope, Husker faithful doesn't hate me saying this, but that's not necessarily the goal. The goal is to get these guys to the next level. And whether that ends up being Nebraska or some other organization, we just want them to be successful long term. Now, the fact that your son and Dani ended up going to Nebraska, I think that's amazing, man. I love that, because that's family, right? And we can allow these kids to get better and bring it back to family, and hopefully raise a banner at some point, with these kids. That's amazing. But if that doesn't happen, that's fine, because we're still raising the play and the talent of our athletes here, and allowing the rest of the world to see that Nebraska's got something to offer.
Tony, as you kind of look at some of these young guys on defense, and you're watching whether it's the defensive line, which is super green with a lot of those guys in there and their inexperience, have you – I'm sure you've heard the narratives about, they're too small to stop the run, and they're too small for Michigan's offensive line. As you've actually watched them this year, and you're not just looking at their weights in the program, how do you think they've played? Has their size jumped off to you in a negative way in the way the defensive line has played this year?
Shoot, you fit in the run game behind some smaller guys, right?
Yeah, I don't look at it from a size perspective. I look at it, from a more of experience and a dog in a fight type perspective. It's, again, you've got some young guys. So I'll be 100% honest. When I watched the Cincinnati game, I was concerned. I'm not gonna lie, I was concerned. I'm like, okay, they're getting too many yards per carry. This quarterback is running up and down the field, and we're going into the Big Ten. You've got to be able to shut things down in the trenches. This is smash my football, right? So I'm still concerned about that standpoint. Behind that, I think the secondary is a strength. I think they're doing well, and I think that's going to help us in this game quite a bit. But that is still one area that we need to shore up. And it just is what it is. And going up against this game is going to be a huge challenge, because they've got, I think it's the top running back in the Big Ten or the nation or something like that, and you got a running quarterback. So challenge on, right? Challenge on.
TV, let me ask you, as a guy that you made a living, we played a lot of 11 robber, a lot of man free, some under type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What are some differences or degrees of difficulty with wanting to play man to man on the back end, but be able to stop the run with your front six or front seven? Because not all run fits are created equal. If you think the strength is Nebraska's secondary, what are some keys that you think Nebraska has to be able to do, kind of not falling for the eye candy, and just varying the degrees of difficulty between stopping the run playing zone versus stopping the run playing man-to-man?
Well, I think I know what it comes down to, in my opinion. Number one, you've got to put more people in the box. You've got to keep this quarterback corralled, and when you've got a dynamic quarterback that can make things happen with his feet, that's just tough altogether, because as a DB, that means sometimes you're going to have to be covering a little longer than you want to cover, right? I was fortunate enough to be, behind some guys who, for the most part, you had 3 seconds to throw the ball, if that. Otherwise, you're gonna be in your back, right? So, we've got to worry about that a little bit. And with a younger, more unexperienced, defensive line, are we going to be able to get pressure on that quarterback, right? Or is he going to have a lot of time to run around? So that's one issue. The other thing is, you can be a great secondary, and you can, stop the run for 3 or 4 plays in a row. And if you take one play off as a defensive, secondary and let one over the top, like that can be deflating, right? You've played your butt off, for 5 or 7 minutes, and all of a sudden you let one play, destroy kind of what happened. So there's always a chance of that. But I think the thing that's going to work well with us, and I think that the thing that John Butler does well is disguise. I think he's going to give, a number of different looks. I would love to say we can go back to the old day and let's just play man up, man free, bubble, and go get them every single time. But I think we're going to have to do some different things to be successful. And I think that's going to happen.
Foreman told a funny story when he first got to Buffalo, right? Because we did play in that bubble, and you play a linebacker in a 3 technique. And, so Foreman told a story about being in Buffalo, and he was asking his DC, hey, what do I got to do for this, that, and the other? And he said his coordinator was joking with him that he's like, man, you played a 3 tech your whole college career. Like, you should be able to stop the run. I asked Grant on Big Red Wrap-Up a couple weeks ago, hey, could you, what are the differences? Could you play in a 4-eye? Could you play in a 5? And he was honest. He was like, no. I played in a 6. I played in a 7. I was outside shoulder of a tackle or a tight end. I didn't have to do a ton. Right. Would TV like to play now in 2025 if you had your same skill sets? Or do you kind of like the way it was and how you got to play defense?
Man, I like the way it was. I'll be honest with you. I think if I had to play in today's, you don't
want to cover slots?
I feel like my strengths would not be. I think my weaknesses would be exposed, man. I'm not trying to cover them, 4 guys in the slot. I'm good. Leave me in the deep middle. Let somebody throw the ball across the middle and let me clean up. I can do that all day.
Is it weird that you it's almost like, and I look at guys like Ed Reed, right? Hall of Famer. And I'm thinking, or Troy Palma. It's like, could these deep hole guys actually play today? And I don't want to think of the game like that, but you train these guys, you see them young. Offensively, it is so much different than it used to be.
Dude, it's so hard. It is so hard now because obviously they change the rules a little bit more. You can't touch the quarterback. Give them a little bit more time. These
illegal hands is like 5. It's 5.
Yeah, I mean, like what's the deal? I mean, I can't smash a cat coming across the middle anymore. Like it's just a different game. But but it's challenge on, right? You also have a situation where a lot of these DBs are playing 7-on-7, for 2 years before they get to college. So I think, some of that has to come into play because they're used to seeing like different routes and more pass combinations than we have in the past. So, I think when it's all said and done, it kind of evens out. And, I'm happy to have the opportunity to do it, but I'm glad I don't have to.
Tony, as you look towards this weekend, do you have a sense on how you feel like this one's going to go?
I don't know, man. I just want to win. I mean, it's their strength versus our weakness, right? Which is a little bit tough from a run defense standpoint. I think if we can take care of the ball and we can just limit the amount of big plays, I think we got a really good chance. But our defensive line, our front 7 has to come to play. Like when it's all said and done, they have to come to play because I think that's what it's going to come down to.
I'll get you out on this, TV. Anybody in particular you're looking forward to hanging out with? I mean, you don't have to pick your favorites, but we're still really, really close. I'm talking to T. Fraze yesterday, and we're going back and forth telling jokes. Is the camaraderie and chemistry what you miss the most and what you're looking forward to this weekend? Because for a lot of alphas in the room, man, that was an awfully tight-knit group.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, You know how it is. I just want to see my guys. It's been. I tell you, I don't know if he's coming back, but I had a chance to speak to him briefly about a month ago, and that's Minner. You know, Mike.
Yep.
So if he comes back, that'll be great because I haven't seen him in person in probably 10 years. But otherwise, man, I just like to see my guys, man. Every time we have this type of thing, gives us a chance to, get together and reminisce about, how good we thought we were, whatever the case may be. And we get better every year, obviously that type of situation. But it's always a good time. And I know, these chances to celebrate each other are lessening because we're getting older. So, I mean, we got to cherish this and hopefully we can get a win on top of it.
Yeah, as one Pisces to another, and I know black don't crack, man. You look fantastic.
Man, I'm trying to keep up with you, brother. I mean, I feel like I'm doing okay, but when I see you, I'm like, man, this cat. And he ain't even using shoe polish or nothing. I mean, like, he's doing good.
I always joke with Ravi. He's like, man, you hate pictures. I'm like, I took so many collisions. I got this misshapen head. The forehead is swollen. The helmet.
You've been tripping with your pictures, man. I don't know what the heck is going on, dude. I've been doing this for 40 years. I don't understand it.
Oh, not you too.
Yeah, you tripping, man. You tripping. Got a beautiful family. Everybody else is smiling, and you looking here like, man, why are we taking these pictures? Like, come on.
Listen, you keep it a buck, so I'm not mad at you, but you could have saved that for me and you.
I knew I liked you, Tony.
Good.
Everybody. We appreciate the time. Enjoy the weekend, not just the game, but the festivities celebrating the 95 team as well. Look forward to seeing you.
I get the first hug, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All good, brother. See you this weekend.
All right, my man.
That's Tony Veland, former Husker, national champion, NFL vet. It's a good resume.
He's a good one. He's an absolute good one.
Appreciate him taking the time.
I didn't know I've hated pictures that long.
I think it doesn't seem like a new phenomenon to me. If I had to guess.
I don't need you piling on either. I'll grow up at some point. Relax.
Hey, what's my favorite line? My new favorite line. I'm not piling on. I had the first shovel.
That was yesterday. That's the T-shirt.
That's the T-shirt. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live. We will be back tomorrow for another edition.
My man said shoe polish.
That killed me.
Wow.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.